Good evening and welcome to episode 3 of the Piss Boilers. You like our introduction, I hope. To this evening we've got obviously the Sheffield Steel in the form of Mr. Wayne Hudson. We have our rich man's Lenny, which is who's actually cleaned his lens on his camera so it doesn't look like a bottle of piss anymore, which is Aidan. We've got Annabelle, who is appearing as everyone wants to see her. I should just show the audience there. There we go. We have Chaswold, and we have the Swedish serial killer and part-time landscaper, Jim, and of course, Sir Simon. And I've got the YouTube bit on.
Good evening.
And the JD. Right, yeah. So right. Topics. We've got quite a lot of loose topics this week. The main one at the moment. Everybody can unmute now, by the way. No, Annabelle, you've got to keep the tape on. God.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Now then, Flower, how we going?
Obviously, our main topic is probably going to be Andy Jack's descent into utter madness, and Dodgy Dave's threat that he is going to get my details, and he said he was going to send my videos and my YouTube comments to the government ombudsman, because he...
Oh, it's going for you now, is he, as well as trying to destroy my livelihood?
Oh, yeah. Did you see his... I'll read his comments here, which is hilarious.
Well, I'll tell you what, have you got all those grabs saved? I thought...
I have, yeah.
Let's read them all. I'll read all the threats out later on. Screen share all the threats.
I'll just read this one bit. He said, "You know what worries me about this annoyer the most? He claims to be a government analyst, and he spelt the word analyst as if I'm a person that keeps a list of women called Anna. He's literally spelt it analyst. He says that my conduct should ring alarm bells for people, and he seems to think, he says I'm in an influence within government level, and it's no wonder the country is in such dire straits." I didn't know I'd become Prime Minister. But,
read the one out about the ghostwriter.
Oh yeah, well, that's the funny bit. And the other one, he says he's going to get my docs and everything. Obviously, he then compares me to Dr. Harold Shipman. Fuck's sake! This is a bloke that murdered pensioners as a doctor. I mean,
I have to say that's completely unfair. If anybody should get compared to Harold Shipman, it should be me.
Yeah, but you're the murderer.
Absolutely, it has to be you,
allegedly.
Jim. It has to be.
Where's the...
I've got a little anecdote about Harold Shipman. Sorry, I would say this. When I've been on a quiz show called The Chase, right? And when I went to the audition,
called Chased.
The Chase
with Bradley Walsh. And when I went to the audition, there were 10 people, and it was like a mock-up. And yeah, they were all like little things like whittly eyed to see whether you make a good contestant. And first of all, you had to introduce yourself. And I was the 10th in line, and I had the pressure on because of this first guy. He made an intro, and he says, "Yeah, my name's Dave, and my claim to fame is that at 4 years of age, I was circumcised." And everybody looked round just to say, and after a dramatic pause, he said, "By Harold Shipman." Well,
you do look a bit like him.
The room just descended into anarchy. No, this weren't me. This was this fucking day.
All right.
The room just descended into the floor, and I thought, he's in. He's in. And he did get through. He did get through the audition along with me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thought.
Did you win that week's Star Prize? Was it a motorboat?
Best. Hell of a way to name drop.
Remember that was Jim. That was Bullseye, wasn't it? Come on over. When they didn't win, when they won fuck all and failed, it was always a motorboat, a brand new car, and a new fitted kitchen. When they did win, it was like a set of cutlery. No,
Mark. No, whenever they won, it was the speedboat. Whenever they lost, it was a family car.
And he used to lead them. And he used to lead them over. And he said, "Come and look at what you haven't won."
Yeah.
Come and look at what you wouldn't win.
Yeah, and look what you've won this week. Special prize, and you could hear a mumbling, "Oh, fuck, another speedboat."
Yeah.
It was better than the special prize on Jim Will Fix It, though, wasn't it?
I don't know what the fuss about Jim Will Fix It was, because I wrote to him when I was a kid and asked him, and he fixed it for me to milk a cow blindfolded.
Yeah. He fixed it for
Was it in his caravan, Mark? Was it in his caravan?
I can't remember. I was
I
blindfolded.
love the Jimmy Savile story. He became sort of like a briefly king of the pedos because his story involved government and charities and government-involved charities and involved like the NHS, also involved corpses. I mean, there was a lot of depravity, and the only person who came out in the papers to stick up for him was the Yorkshire fucking Ripper. You know, when the only person sticking up for you is the Yorkshire Ripper, you've got problems.
Yeah, he's a nice bloke. He's all right.
We all know the true king of the pedos is that guy from Lost Prophets.
They were talking. I saw an interview with Gary Lineker, the famous English footballer, and they were just. And he was saying that apparently the name Gary has gone really downhill. No one names their boy Gary anymore, and he said it's not my fault. He said blame Glitter. It's all down to him.
Yeah. I like the way there was the guy, I can't remember the guy's name, the singer from Lost Prophets, but he had the same name as somebody from Steps.
Yeah, H from Steps. Also called Ian Watkins as well, yeah. And everybody thought Ian Watkins was a paedophile from Steps, not from
Didn't some newspaper publish the wrong picture?
Probably, yeah. Probably that really helped.
Well, that one got really sick because it was really young children, and like the mothers were getting involved as well, which was the crazier thing. There was like those two mothers who had let him molest their children in order for him to play their birthday parties.
Although, to be honest, it's quite refreshing to hear of a sexual abuse case which happens outside of the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
Makes it true.
And with that segue,
well, that leads me on to one particular thing I saw in the on the news today. I've bookmarked.
Who's doing the breathing?
Don't know. Pope Francis has today approved the creation of a tribunal to hear cases of bishops accused of covering up child abuse, so that the Catholic Church are setting up their own tribunal to interview their own priests about what they've been up to, not reporting them to the police. They're going to, and so the tribunal will have the power to punish bishops. Well, I punish my bishop most nights, but that's not.
Yeah.
So again, it's another case of the Catholic.
Do they say?
Punish your bishop. Yeah.
Do they say that they're punishing bishops that are covering up child abuse, or the actual bishops that have committed child abuse?
I tell you what they're doing. They're doing that whole thing like when you want to stop a child from smoking, you make it smoke a whole pack of cigarettes in one go. And so what they, and that's how they punish the bishops.
To try and make you sick of doing it, you must molest 20 boys.
Why do you think they always keep altar boys around?
Yeah, apparently the tribunal.
We're going to lock you in the Sistine Chapel with the choir.
This is only to do with those accused of covering up the child abuse, not the actual ones that carried it out. So the tribunal will have the power to punish bishops who fail to protect young victims. This is following survivors groups in the UN criticising them. But a statement from the Vatican said the department would come under the auspices of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith.
Because they did such a good job before.
Yeah. The aim apparently is to judge bishops with regards to the crime of the abuse of office when connected to the abuse of minors.
Hang on a minute. You know what's the thing? The what for the Doctrine of the Faith?
The Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. They're the people that will deal with these. Rather than finding out,
you know what that is, don't you? That's the official name of the Inquisition.
Yes, that is the actual. Yeah.
I mean,
I did an article on this last year. I did an article on this last year for another channel, not mentioning any names, which I won't. But I did a news article on it about this, where they're charging and they're going to actually, instead of handing him over to the police, they're actually doing Bishop, Cardinal, whatever he was, out in Peru, and they're actually under house arrest and what have you in the lavishness of the Vatican in his own chambers while he awaits trial under Vatican rule and under Vatican law.
I mean, a lot of
absolute disgrace.
a lot of the groups have said it. Obviously, this helps. This is going to be good for the victims, which I agree. It's something, but the idea that the Catholic Church is setting up its own departments to deal with priests that covered up child abuse, just report them to the police. Why I just don't get it.
Why aren't the police in there arresting people? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, the police should be interviewing these people, not other bishops.
If you reported child abuse to the police, they'd come around straight away.
Well, this is something that Pope Francis started to set up in 2013. It's 17 clerics and lay people. So it's taken them 2 years. It's now going to be initially it says the complaints will be investigated by one of 3 Vatican departments, depending on whose jurisdiction the bishops are under. So by the time they work all that out and get all it'll be another couple of years down the line before they actually sit and talk to someone who by that they probably would have moved somewhere else anyway. Where is he? Oh, we moved him to Spain. Oh right. It's just this bloody nonsense.
It's a criminal organisation, not just because of the child abuse. There's so many other reasons, and as you said, I genuinely cannot understand anyone that would continue to follow it.
Well, the Catholic Church is a huge blight on humanity.
The money laundering alone, right?
Well, as I mentioned in comments elsewhere, you've got these people that are dressed in the finest clothes. Sitting on gold chairs with immense wealth and finery around them, lecturing their members on how to deal with the poor and all about their sexuality. This is a bunch of virgins who are rich beyond measure, talking about sexuality and wealth, or lack of it. It's just.
Well, my take on it is this: that in the 21st century, right? I could understand, right? Community where the entire community were Catholic, I can understand, like with the peer pressure and the traditions and all this. Like, I understand why somebody would be in it because, like, you'd be an outcast if you weren't. But in the 21st century, can imagine, like in I don't know, in a modern town, a multicultural, diverse town, for instance, why anyone would still need to be a part of it? Because there's no pressure there anymore. So you could just say, right, antiquated establishment, fuck that.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think that will make any difference. Is that if the members say we're leaving and we're not giving you more money and we're leaving, and that's the only thing that will work because they're not doing it themselves. It's outside agencies that are doing things. I mean,
can you imagine any other organisation that would get away with it? It just wouldn't. There's no other organisation that would get away with it.
Mafia and the BBC. Yeah.
I'll give you a quick example of what's just happened. You know the referendum, obviously. I keep harping on great fucking thing that happened in where I'm from.
You're allowed to get married, aren't you, Aidan?
Yeah, I'm allowed to get married now. It's great. When are you coming over for the wedding, Jim?
Fuck, I'll be there.
Yeah, no bother.
When you said you wanted someone as best man, I thought you meant someone else.
No, he's the bride. Anyway, the point being was the Archbishop of Dublin here, Dermot, whatever his name, Dermot Martin, right? Just after the referendum, turned around and said, it's time for the Catholic Church to actually wake up and open their eyes. He's actually been called to Rome to get down and suck Pope cock and take back what he said.
I thought it was Pope Francis.
No, I think you can imagine that, can't you? You can imagine. You can imagine the Pope saying, "No, look. When I said kiss my ring, I meant something entirely different."
Yeah, you just imagine the white smoke out the chimney and the press. There's the College of Cardinals have made a decision. That they've chosen Pope cock.
He's not been heard of. He's not been available for comment ever since. You know what I mean?
You can imagine a large penis coming out on the balcony dressed in a white. That already happens.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. You know, and this is like, you know, this is the whole point. It's not a democracy. It's not something you can change. This is papal fucking bullshit. papal bulls that fucking are given out. It's just like women can never be part of the Catholic Church for the simple reason being there's a papal bull that will never allow them to be bold.
You see, the thing is, right?
I think they will, but I think it will take many, many years when the entire landscape of that thing eventually changes.
Stop it. But
they'll probably change.
These papal bulls are in place for like hundreds and hundreds of years. Human race doesn't
think
have
of all the rules the Catholic Church has, conveniently U-turned on because of society.
Have they really?
Yeah, that's the thing. Have they really?
Have they really? Let's
have some housekeeping quickly to do. Housekeeping bit. Alex Greco said he wants to say hello to all his boys. And Annabelle. And we've also, Eve has posted a comment to say, we've already got the obligatory one thumb down. I wonder who that is, Andy.
Dobby.
Dave, Bill,
I just like Andy's. I wish every house had one of them.
Yes. And the other, by the way, Andy, if you're
in this country.
If you're watching, Andy, you're welcome to come in. If you want the link, send me a message. I'll send you the link. Come in and have a chat. And Dodgy Dave, anytime. And I would like to make an apology to Dodgy Dave. If he was offended by me mentioning his late father, I am sorry, and I do apologise. It was probably in bad taste.
He's already said he rejects your apology. I've seen that.
Oh, is he? I've seen that. Oh, well, okay. I did. Andy, I did have to point out to Andy in his the third of the trilogy hangout last night when he mentioned when you're dead and you start to die, and I thought that was quite funny. What
was he said the other night about there being two ways to die? So like peacefully or in agony.
No, one was in terrible pain, or the other one was being run over by a truck driven by Wayne.
Yeah, that was it.
That was the only two ways to die, apparently.
Slowly and painfully. When in the original analogy, I wasn't the one driving a truck. I was trying to avoid trucks.
But it was quote-mined by Dodgy Dave to make out that you were saying you would have no compunction in running people down in a large truck.
Right, and I want to address this, right? Nobody's speaking a minute. I want to address this, right? Here's the thing. And I think I don't know if there's which one of Andy's hangouts it was, and they were trying to draw a parallel to show that his friend was more moral than me.
Yeah.
So right, but like, bear with me.
You sure that's not Nate?
Bear with me, right? Go listen to this one. In my original video, where I'd come home from work and I made a video about moaning about people's driving standards in the snow, and I thought, I can make this. I'm pissed off, but I can also make this funny. I mean, you can see how I was laughing about the snow and everybody saw it, and I'd actually said about if I was going past people, and as I went past them, pedestrians who needn't be pedestrians because they should have been on the pavement, and at that moment a lorry comes down the hill, and that lorry's got to brake because I've started going around people, and then that lorry jackknifes and takes a load of people out. I didn't make this point, but that's the logical extension of it. The lorry jackknife takes me out and a load of people, so everybody's a loser in that situation. So I just basically said, all right, get on the pavement, or I'll just not steer. I'll just not steer into the truck. You ought to be on the pavement, and you didn't ought to be impeding the safety of road vehicles in adverse weather conditions. Right? But the thing is, he says, now contrast this with Dave. Dave was riding behind his friends, and he nearly ran into the back of them.
Yeah.
Right, and I've heard this story before. He was riding like a cunt. He was riding beyond his abilities and nearly smashed them all from behind. Nearly smashed all the back doors in. So Andy says, so what Dave did instead, he steered out of the way, and I don't know if it either ran into a field or ran into a wall and that, rather than running into his friends and injuring all them.
He's got friends.
And I'm like, yeah, well that's what you should do. You shouldn't run into the back of your people just because you've been riding like a cunt.
To be honest with you, I'm quite impressed that you managed to get a pushback to go that fast.
Well,
Probably downhill or off a
He's
cliff.
actually got a powerful bike like I have.
Not anymore, he hasn't. He ran it into a wall.
No, I think it's still going. I think he got it sorted.
What? Warp frame, bent sideways.
Did anyone see Andy?
He's defying the laws of gravity. One wheel goes round the corner before the other. Before the other one even thinks it's even.
But the point is,
like.
Did you see Andy's video, Wayne?
To draw a parallel like that is ludicrous. Sorry, man.
Did you see Andy? He played a video which supposedly was somebody transporting. It was a video where this bus was coming down the road, and a bloke on a push bike was going to hit, or the bus was going to hit him, and all of a sudden this being appeared with glowing hands, and literally transported a la Star Trek the cyclist to safety the other side of the road.
I saw it months ago.
Yeah,
I've seen this.
Yeah, and then I pointed out to Andy that it was actually an advert for a Chinese advert for a computer game where the hero has got special powers. And Andy suddenly said, "Oh, I knew that. I knew."
So a viral video, like a viral ad campaign.
Yeah, but Andy was playing it as if this is proof of the supernatural.
Genuine footage.
Yeah. Fucking unreal.
Well, you laugh.
Go on, yeah, detail.
But it even showed the logo of the company that the dragon logo of the company that makes the game on the pavement afterwards.
I mean, I will say this, Randy. I mean, he does give me hope, and that's a blessing. Mainly, it's a hope.
Would you, Simon?
Mainly, it's a hope that he doesn't speak to me. But nonetheless, it's hope.
What are we talking about?
Andy, Jack your body.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
He was, and also he said something about. He was talking about near-death experiences, about people that have died, and I had to point out that the clue was in the title. It's near death. It's not actual death. That's why it's called near.
It's when they said I was dead for 15 minutes. No, you fucking weren't.
No, exactly. And that bloke, the other guy, the one that was the Burns victim, he showed on that video that said, that God's way of getting a message through to the poor bloke was to burn him for a bit.
Yeah.
And then why would God do that? Why not just send him a message, a text or something, or some other supernatural? Why burn the poor bloke for 20 minutes?
How's it going?
Yeah,
and he conveniently mentions that in this last year, there's been an instance where a kid on record has said that he made up a near-death experience.
Yeah.
There's been one where somebody had a near-death experience and reported back that no happened.
Yeah. I had a near-death experience. I had a near-death experience, and I can, of my own volition, I am not being sponsored by this show. The check better be in the post.
RS Tools.
But there was no big white light waiting for me.
Yeah, and why is it always a white light when all your relatives at the end?
Exactly, it's always exactly the same story.
And there's always a couple of relatives that go, "No, go back. It's not your time."
Yeah. Why is it always a white light? Considering
Because I tell you why.
Directly under a big white light.
I'll tell you why, Wayne. Because most of these near-death experiences happen on the operating table.
Yeah, I just said that.
That's what he said.
Did he?
Yeah, that's what he just said.
And it must be a lag then, because I didn't hear that.
It's not a slag.
You came in.
He wishes it was.
I was making a rhetorical point, Annabelle. I said, why is it that they're always white light? I said, we're considering that they're looking up at the big white light on the operating table.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I love about people with ghost stories? They always come out with these sort of like, you always like, if you're saying there's no such thing as a ghost, there's always one person in a group that has the hype up, and they've always got some ludicrous fucking almost cliche horror movie story that personally happened to them or someone that they knew, and they go, well, how would you explain this? What? With just your vague recollection of events with no other information about any type of conditions that were going on that day, nowhere to verify half the information I'd need to even draw any conclusions, and I can still go, it might have been supernatural, just not the supernatural you think it is.
Yeah. I'll just briefly, the Q&A is open for anyone that is watching to see. You don't have to send questions, you can make comments in the Q&A if you want us to see them quicker.
Chaz?
Yeah?
You offered to go and video this ghost, didn't you?
Yeah,
Dodgy
I
Dave.
live right by there.
I think we should all go. I think we should have like a
Oh, that would
boiled
be
piss
brilliant.
trip.
Yeah.
I'll come over from Sweden for that. I promise. If it's a
Oh, we should do that. That's such a good idea.
Yeah, Annabelle can provide a gourmet picnic for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we should tell Dodgy Dave when we're going, because there are certain ghoulies I don't want to see.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. That's why he wants us to go.
If you
hang on,
white
Jazz.
box me,
One sec, Jazz. The reason why he wants us to go on a specific day is because so
That's
he can
where
be
I
there.
live.
It's so he can be there wearing a white sheet and going woo.
Yeah. I mean, if he thinks that I'm I mean, this is a man that's making threats about Wayne's livelihood, making threats about reporting me to MI6 or something. All because, I mean, if he's really going to write to my employer, who would laugh, I mean, what's going to be the basis of his letter? A man on the internet laughed at the fact that I was down a deep, dark hole and saw a ghoulie.
Yeah.
And because he laughed at me, it's really upset me, and I blocked him. But I make comments about him while he's blocked, and I won't talk to him. And he's really upset me because he says my ghost story is not real. My boss would piss his pants.
He came out with this story, but this story has been going on for years. I mean, I remember listening to a conversation between Dave and Andy Jack about 6-7 months ago. He's got a victim complex because nobody believes his story, and it's everybody else's fault. And he's got about 15 different people that have fucked his life up for him.
Well, he was gonna write a book about the experience, and the proceeds of the book were going to go to a children's charity, which is very admirable. Kudos to him. That's great. But then apparently somebody threatened his life, and he couldn't write the book because of some people on the internet, apparently. And so
Who does this remind you of?
Yes.
So this was a few years ago, and so then
well, apparently now
he wrote to Lionel Fanthorpe, who is a guy that runs something called the Fortean Times, which I think may have been a TV program in the UK. He's an ex-vicar, I think, and it was like, he's a supernatural investigator type thing. And apparently Dave's claim is true because he wrote to Lionel and showed him his edited photographs of the ghoulie and demon faces in the wall. Wow. And Lionel wrote back and said, "Looks good to me." So apparently that makes it true.
Hang on, you missed the next bit out.
I'll read it, shall I?
You missed the best bit out, I remember. Didn't you write to him and tell him, I won't worry about all those demons, they're not real, mate.
Yes, he said, he said it looks real, and don't worry, no one's out to get you. There's no evil ghosties out to get you. And the worst bit, the funniest bit for me is, as Wayne said, is that he said he's not very literate or hasn't got very, very good grammar skills, so he employed a ghostwriter without any hint of irony.
He said he's never been to school. Never been to school.
Yeah, that's right.
I went looking for a ghost once. I was living in Crystal Palace, and apparently the Crystal Palace public toilets are haunted. So I went down there about 10 o'clock at night in the middle of the winter. It was dark, and went in. I spent about 20 minutes hanging around there and didn't see a fucking thing. But when I came out, I did find that my pants were full of ectoplasm.
I knew it.
Josh Shelley's the one for a public toilet.
That's where we first met, Jim.
Well, on the subject of employers, when you mentioned that what Dodgy Dave's trying to get hold of desperately get hold of our docs, I actually had a word with the gaffer today, and I says because he knows I go on internet. He don't know what corner of the internet it is, but I says, hey, I've picked up a cyberstalker, boss. He went, oh, I told him, and I says I never ever put anything to do with the name of my company I work online anywhere. Right, I said, so heaven forbid he finds out, like, I says, and contacts the firm. I says, I tell him, and I says, what's the rate of that story? That story, then, gaffer. He says, sounds like a cunt.
So your boss is really worried then. My boss already knows.
That's just schoolboy garbage. Oh yeah.
Actually, Mark knows this because he was involved in it all. My stalker actually did phone my boss. Yeah, and told him that I was being horrible to Christians on the internet.
Oh.
And all because you were nasty about their train tickets.
Was it Jason Burns?
Very naughty girl.
Was it Jason Burns by any chance?
No, it's this guy over in America that I tried to gently let down, but he wasn't having any of it.
No, he wasn't. It was on Twitter for months. It was got quite bad at the end, I have to say. But he was in that case. Sorry, Chaz. Did you say you wanted me to white box you?
Yeah. Because I just want to explain. This is the detached Bastion here. Yeah.
Okay.
It's part of a really old set of forts from the Napoleonic Wars, the Drop Without. And I mean, this is what it looks like on the inside.
Ooh, it is spooky.
The outside. It's a really sort of derelict place. There are signs that humans were once sort of very active there, and now they're not because of nature's totally reclaimed it. So I can understand if you're in this environment feeling that sort of eerie sense of isolation that would make you more prone to sort of believing you saw a ghost. But there really is no ghosts there. There's hundreds of pictures.
Back a bit, because there is one I think that Dave mentioned where some kids had obviously drawn a pentacle.
Pentagram.
On the pentagram, sorry.
Pentacle.
A pentagram on the wall and a swastika. That was enough to, obviously, well, the pentagram on the wall, there must be a devil
Right.
there somewhere.
A pentacle.
Right. Well, the thing is, right.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Hang on.
A pentacle's something that octopus that dabble in witchcraft have.
That's it.
Are we going to take it down to a base level?
Evil squid.
Are we going to go?
Just put the Bastion back, the internal shots of the Bastion back up, Chaz.
All right, hold on, yeah.
Because we like internal shots.
Was that
Right,
Pentacle.
because
testicle?
I'm into photography, right, and that a big, decent photo opportunity. See, the thing is, right, I've got a decent rig and
What
tripod.
about your camera?
And the thing is, like, I think all Dodgy Dave
Massive
shots,
pentacles.
all Dodgy Dave shots look like they were flash photography, and so that's why they were picking orbs up and such like.
Yeah, there was one orb, and then
notes.
there was a little strip, wasn't there, going from one orb, and he said that was ectoplasm or something, leading to a bloke with a beard, and then his mate was near something on the wall that happened to be a triangular shape that looked like a demon that someone else had said, "Oh look."
But the point is, right. The point is, I will set up my good camera, set it on the tripod, long exposure, no flash, and so you actually you'll get some really good shots in the dark because you put it on like 30-second exposure, and I guarantee there'll be no fucking orbs on them.
Well, the only thing that's scary about that place is I heard that Chaz has had sex with women there.
Oh yeah, I fucked 3 women on top of it. You see this bit here. You just go over this bump bit, and I've had sex with like 3 women up there. I fucked an ex-girlfriend, just some girl I was sort of like having a bit of a summer fling with, and another ex-girlfriend on top of there.
That does explain something.
Such a ladies' man, aren't you?
Yeah, I know, right? That's probably why when he went there, he heard a lot of moaning. It was probably me on top.
Don't take away.
Those orbs are actually.
Hang on, one at a time.
Punchline coming. If you were making out on top of there, that sort of, and if it's a bit leaky, it does explain the ectoplasm trickling through.
Yeah, that would be it. Yeah, the same stuff that Jim had in his pants.
Yeah.
Did you do them in the crease of the roof there?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Classic.
And the other bit is
Dave's a real charmer, isn't he? Do you want to come back for a bit of fun? We're going to some haunted ruin.
yeah, great, isn't it?
Works for me, dude.
I've
used that one.
Not even a fish and chip supper.
But don't forget, though, we must not forget, right? In order for the ghost to appear, you must go to the Bastion alone, in the dark, on Halloween.
With an owl.
Going ooh.
With an owl.
Or else the ghost
that could be our summer
come and frighten
vacation.
you.
That could be the Piss Boilers summer vacation down there, and we can go and wind up.
To be honest, if we do go, I'm not going to be scared of ghosts or anything. I am going to be scared of Annabelle. She fucking terrifies me.
Yeah, if we do go.
You're such a liar. You know that. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say anything.
The other bit I have to mention is that Dave, Andy Jack did say at the end of his second, I think it was his second of the trilogy, he said, "I want to say something." Then he said, "Oh, I don't know whether I should. I have to be careful. How am I going to say this?"
Yeah.
Then
After all the things he said.
Yeah, then he revealed that we ought to be aware that anyone that has disagreed with Dave in the past
Or mocked
him has befallen a terrible accident or suffered a disease. It's just like the film Poltergeist, where all the cast members died off suddenly,
or
like
even
Tutankhamen.
the Omen. The Omen. In fact, this ties in with the Omen. So you got photographic artifacts of people that Dave has had. The people disagreed with Dave, so you might have a line across the neck. So about somebody who disagreed with Dave has had a photo of them, and they've been decapitated. One's been impaled.
I bet I'm going to one that gets some fucking steel spike up their ass. I bet you that's how I'm going to go.
You'll get let
You hope, yeah. You hope.
And you can all stay at my house. You can all come and stay at my house.
That'll do.
I thought
that's quite scary in itself.
We'll send Wayne some money for a ticket.
Is that
I'm not a fucking poverty case.
I tell you what, we could all just take some tents up there and camp up there.
Let's do that.
Fucking laugh.
Yeah.
Don't start on tickets; it only causes trouble.
Yeah. We'll do a whip round then, because we'll do a whip round, and Mark will take credit for doing it.
Yeah, bring a ghetto blast, and we'll have a rave down there.
I mean, his name's Dave. His name's Dodgy Dave. He's not fucking Howard Carter, for crying out loud.
What was that show with that couple on that was quite big for a while? And you'll know Chaz. You know, couple. They used to go with Derek Acora.
You talking about Most Haunted?
Yes. We'll do our own Most Haunted on show. Piss Boiler's Most Haunted.
That's a funny show. They never see a ghost. It's like the cameraman.
You know what? There is a lot of ghost lore, but it's all to do with the other fucking heights, the eastern heights, because you've got to think of Dover as being like the main town is inside a valley. And the sort of like the cliffs all sort of like curve up towards the ends, and on one sort of like peak of the cliff you've got the castle, and on the other one you've got this fort. And like the castle has the legends of the headless drummer boy, which is a very famous one, and you've got there's one of a nurse that's in the wartime tunnels underneath the castle. And the thing is, I will say that it's very, very easy. If you're in something like, I've been in the wartime tunnels and done the tours a couple of times, and one time I swear I saw a nurse walk towards the door, and when I looked round, the door hadn't opened, but that person had disappeared. Now, it's very, very easy when your mind is in a suggestible experience for you to have all sorts of what seem real experiences but aren't. It's your mind playing tricks on you. Your brain imagines most of the stuff you think you see. Your thumbnail, when you hold your thumb out in front of you, is about all your actual maximum focal point is. The rest of the information that's put in your peripherals is done from memory and assumption.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Chaz, you do think about nurses quite a lot.
Chaz,
of course.
Chaz, you can't explain the Ouija board that they do on there. You can't.
But I did mention to Andy to point out the word, is it pareidolia?
Pareidolia.
That didn't go down very well. Obviously, it's probably spelled too. Oh, we have a question.
If we're pointing at words.
Excitement. We also have 31 viewers. That's a record.
That's a record. It was 28 was the best report. Thank you very much, everyone that's watching. Our question is from Luna. Yeah, sorry, Simon. Yeah, go on.
Okay, cool. Go on then.
The question is from Lunatic Robot, and it is Roy Montero a manipulative So I'll start again. Is Roy Montero a manipulative sociopath, a stubborn simpleton, or something else entirely? Yes or no?
I just think the guy's in that case.
At some point, I would like to answer this question when you've all finished.
He's mostly harmless.
Yes or no? It's not answering the question, is it? Come on.
Oh no, then no.
Well, I think I had an intervention with Roy.
Hang on, one at a time.
I had an intervention with Roy, and I thought it went very well, because at the end of it, he said, you know, I got to do something about this. I said, are you going to quit? You know, he answered yes, and I felt that was very honest of him.
All right.
Are you being serious, or is that a joke?
I actually had an intervention with Roy, yeah,
okay.
where
I don't know if you actually listen. I don't know if you actually listened to a show on his channel, and I don't know who the other guy was, but Sean did a brilliant job on him, and he actually admitted to stuff that I'm not going to repeat on here, but he was very emotional, and I think that he was very appreciative of the way that these two guys dealt with it. And he was really humble. Now, whether or not that's going to be forgotten, and he's going to go back to yes or no, profess or suppress all that bollocks. Who knows? But it was I was very moved by listening to it. So I'm you know, maybe I'm a sucker, I don't know, but I thought they did a really good job of bringing him out and getting him to acknowledge that.
He does. I'm sure he's a nice. I'm sure he's a nice bloke, but I think he's still a cop.
It didn't work.
The best thing I've heard said
Well,
against...
you guys didn't give him a chance on Talking Shit Tuesday. I thought you all behaved appallingly, or they all behaved appallingly, actually.
The best conversation I've heard with Roy was one with, I think it was in one of Nadia's, and I think it was soccer, and he did a real good job. Soccer Count did. It's a while ago now.
Also, I've had 2 private conversations with him very recently where he's been a very, very different person. He doesn't want to talk about, when he goes into private hangouts, he doesn't want to talk about God. He wants to talk about relationships and life and all that kind of thing. And he's quite, I'm not going to say he's an amazingly interesting, charismatic person, because he's not. But he's a...
Take yourself in, Annabelle.
Annabelle. You really had to throw compliments around.
What I was trying to say by that was that he's not like... See, Mark won't have any of this. I've tried to talk to Mark earlier about this, and he was like, "No, don't care. He's still a loon."
He's a slimy loon. He's probably a nice bloke in real life, but he's a cock. Really.
He's a god salesman, isn't he? Isn't he a god salesman? Is that it, or what? Sorry, isn't he a god salesman? Isn't that really the title?
Here's the thing. Annabelle just said. Hang on. Annabelle just said that it was different in private hangouts. Now that to me marks somebody as a cunt.
Yeah.
If you're going to be different in public or private, then no, fuck off.
Yeah, we're cunts all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Today, Wade, I was looking at my...
I practice at being a cunt.
One at a time!
Aidan.
I practice at being a cunt.
We're doing very well.
Thank you.
I was looking at my circles today, and I decided that a lot of people who I had in my circles weren't actually friends, and I didn't like the idea of following anybody because it sounds like a bit, subservient and a bit sycophantic. So I created a new one called Cunts, just threw everybody in there.
Are we in there?
Yeah, of course.
Well, nice one.
And Wayne's got one called Special Northern Cunt.
Eve Real said, "Oh, I can see Aidan much better than usual. So cool!" Smiley face.
Yeah.
You've pulled. Aidan's pulled.
And we can also see all his rubbish much clearer as well.
But Jason Burns' archive channel says Wayne rides a Honda C90, whatever that means.
Do I ride a Honda?
Honda C90.
That was my first. Hang on, Simon. For the archive. The C90 was my first ever bike back in 1991.
The C stands for cunt.
I think it stands for compensating.
Oh, that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
If you saw Honda C90, it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, Wayne. I'm looking at it now, and did you really get on that? Did you really?
I've got to see this now. Was it like riding a clown bike?
Yeah, it's a step through, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pluggy, Honda pluggy.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I had a Harley Davidson SS250T.
I had a, I don't know what it was, but it's a little fizzy. That's what we used to call them.
Fizzy.
Yeah, I had a Rally Grifter.
I had a Suzuki AT50.
I had a chopper.
Yeah, I bet you did.
I bet you did.
Many times.
The last bike I just got rid of, 3 years ago, was a Bandit, Suzuki Bandit 600.
I got rid of my bike about 5 years ago when I divorced her.
Yeah.
I'll show you what I've got now.
As the great Andy Jack would say, this is where the rubber meets the road.
What is it about Andy Jack that whenever I see him, I think of Tom Hanks from Philadelphia? Especially
he does look like he's sick. He really does.
Annabelle. Who does he look like, Annabelle? There was a meme today.
Stubby. No, Bobby.
Dobby.
Annabelle, if you want to wipe
the house elf.
Mark,
now you see, I don't want to sort of suggest or anything that Andy Jack looks like somebody who may have AIDS, but I'm pretty sure if Princess Diana was still alive, then she'd be queuing up to shake his hand.
I've white boxed Wayne's bike for all the bike pervs out there.
That is an absolute beast.
What you guys don't understand, right, is that a world without hope is pretty hopeless place.
Oh yeah,
Is it lots of sucky things in lots of different places?
Oh, back to Nate. He's done well again, isn't he, old Nate?
What are you eating, Mark?
Peanuts and raisins. I mean, Nate was on the best bit, but that's the best bit of the week, was when Rev News, in a quiet moment, said, "Nate's never smug."
Yeah.
Never smug.
Do your impersonation of Rev News, Mark.
Well, Rev News is just...
Do your impersonation of him, please.
Eh?
No, Mark does a brilliant impersonation of Rev News.
I can't get the voice, but it's usually just he calls people bro, doesn't he, a lot, or
bingo. He goes bingo, amen, bro, amen, bro.
Yeah. Peace, bro.
Do you really want a Rev impersonation?
Lost it with
Go on, Simon. Come on, Simon. If you can do it, Simon, go for it.
Okay, I'll do it in a minute. I need to just warm up slightly.
Do you remember about a week ago, Kronos asked Michael Ann because she was being such a bitch, whether she was on her period.
Stop putting down a brother in Christ!
That sounds like a Cockney.
It sounded like Mick Jagger.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
you got to get the accent right. But when he had a go at Kronos for asking Michael about her period, he just completely lost it with her. You fucking cunt! You fucking cunts! You're all fucking cunts!
Well, that's our Christian viewers just switched off hearing a woman swear.
Never suffer a witch to swear.
What?
You did have me get my Todger out.
Oh yeah, please do. But the problem is no one will see it.
Actually, saying that, we had 31 watching, and when Annabelle swore, it went down to 30.
Now it's gone down to 29.
Sorry.
There you are.
Nate,
killed everything.
Nate.
Put the tape back on your mouth.
Again, that's Nate has just fell into a masturbatory coma listening to this swearing.
That's the champagne of victory, is when we lose the actual thing. That's when we're really popular.
Yeah.
Because
I
think we should try really hard to take it down to 0 watching now.
Go on then.
I just want to point out a prophecy made in one of Andy Jack's hangouts, which that all militant atheists are going to be ostracized. Okay.
Are we?
Oh yeah, that's right. It'll be finished in a few years' time. There won't be any atheists left. That was his.
Oh dear.
There was something else which I found intriguing. His explanation of the Planck length being the distance between his ears.
I'm reliably informed by someone who said that apparently Roy Montero did the same antics again on Nate's hangout today, and eventually Nate almost called him out on it.
Okay then.
Don't be so sucky, Roy.
I still think that there's another side to Roy, and I'm sticking by what I say.
Good luck with that.
On to our briefly our other subject that we did.
Well, no, come on, Simon. You're not being fair, because you give lots of people a free pass. Lots of Christians who are really obnoxious a free pass. So I can have at least one. I can have at least one.
You can have one each.
Yeah.
Well, on that subject.
I don't have any.
Hang on a minute.
I don't have any.
Why am I left out?
I did have one Christian. I did have one Christian who I was nice to, and look what happened there.
Yeah, you can't trust them.
I'm guessing.
I'm not suggesting that you can. I'm not suggesting you can trust them. I'm just you give them a bit of a free pass.
You can trust them, about as far as you can fucking spit them.
I'm guessing, Wayne, that you ran into a big, dirty, black, shitty brick wall. Is that right? Is that what it felt like?
Otherwise known as Christian Hillbigot.
I don't know how that description got those many adjectives.
He wasn't talking about Hilly Billy.
I don't know how that description got so many adjectives in it.
Lots of high places.
So there was another list there which I noticed in one of his hangouts, which is about the things he used to do when he was young. I'd just like to take you through this, if I may, for a moment. It won't take more than a minute.
Who are we talking about now?
This is Andy Jack, of course.
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay.
Cool. Go ahead.
So I'm just saying, when he was young, he was a bit of a reprobate, obviously, and he used to do things like drink, see women,
see women,
right. Play golf, and stay out at night.
Stay out at night.
He never did he? Seriously?
I can see why God was needed. That's all.
Where does he put this? Where did he put this, Simon?
Oh, fuck knows. It's in the hangout somewhere.
That's it. He was like, when he starts posting about his younger days, like he was some kind of rebel and how he was. It was hilarious.
To be fair, though, he was seeing women through the gap in the changing room curtains.
or he was just on the golf course going, there's one.
What I find quite weird is the relationship he has with his son. Is that it's just like very. It makes me uncomfortable.
It's probably when he saw them on the golf course. It was, are they letting women in here now?
Well, I took it the other way, and I thought that staying out at night and seeing women were the two connected. So he was probably, out at night, wandering the streets, just looking through windows.
Well, the bizarre part, of course, when he
started... He was like Jack the Ripper in the making or something.
Well, he started his hangout
in the fog-drawn streets of London.
When he actually started his showing women his wood, when he started his hangout last night, he said, "Hang on a minute, I heard a funny noise," and he said he called out his wife's name, no answer, and then he said, "I think I've got an intruder." He took his headphones off, picked up this very small knife, and disappeared into the blackness behind him. Then he came back and said, "Oh, it's okay. It is my wife. She's very hard of hearing." I just imagined his wife saying, him saying, "Is that if you don't answer me, I'm going to stab you," and then him stabbing someone in the dark, and then rushing back to his hangout with saying, "Oh,
sorry guys, sorry Mark, I got to interrupt you for a moment there. Hang on, I just heard a sound. Hang on a second. Is that you, Sheila? Is that you, Sarah? Susan? Hang on a minute. I'm just going to have to go and sort it out." An intruder.
Do you think he's he's going for the what's it called, the Oscar Pistorius defence?
Yeah.
But throwing a knife at the toilet door wasn't quite the same.
Anyway, how many topics have we got?
Because he's more used to sticking his dick through one. I retract that immediately.
The one that made Super Joker, who's watching, bless you, love you, is that we said today's topics are the madness of Andy Jack and physics, which made him laugh. And the physics one was the one an article I'd seen where Australian scientists, I don't know if there is such a thing, apparently had proven what happens to particles in the past only decided when they are... Sorry, I'll start again. An experiment by Australian scientists has proven that what happens to particles in the past is only decided when they are observed and measured in the future. And until such time, reality is an abstraction. That's weird.
It is.
Welcome to the world of quantum physics.
It says particles can tunnel through solid objects which should normally be impenetrable barriers, like a ghost passing through a wall. That made me laugh. And now scientists...
Back on subject.
Yeah. Scientists have proven that what is happening to a particle now isn't governed by what has happened to it in the past, but by what state it is in the future. Effectively meaning that at a subatomic level, time goes backwards. Fuck that. That's weird.
It is.
Apparently Einstein knew about it and called it spooky.
Yes. I remember, I actually do have a physics degree. You wouldn't believe it.
Oh, well.
I don't understand a fucking word of that. But one of the things I did understand was that if you were a photon, then there wouldn't be such a thing as time. Because you're travelling at the speed of light. And I used to find that really quite interesting. It's about the only thing I found interesting.
So this is sort of getting towards when Andy's saying nothing, I mean, obviously, quantum level, things do pop in and out of existence from nowhere all the time.
Oh, speaking of which,
from nowhere,
reminds me actually that they say that it's possible for dimensions to bleed into one another. That's been sort of like brought up as a hypothesis by some people, and that was actually, if you look at the letter that that the Dodgy Dave got from that guy who said, like, "Oh, don't worry about it." You know, he gave at least 3 explanations for what this could be. He never actually committed to one. So he just gave a scattershot of opinions and just went, "Mm-hmm."
Well, it's very indicative that an ex-vicar who's trying to sell the fact that he can see ghosts and is a psychic investigator told Dave, "Oh, I'm sure it's real, but don't worry, they're not out to get you." That was enough for Dave to collect.
Well, no, that was one of the many explanations.
Yes, one of the many ones.
Yeah. It could be a real ghost. It could be an effect of dimensional bleeding, as if he's got data with him, like to confirm that. And I don't mean data as in evidence. I mean data from fucking Star Trek. And you know, or it could be a demon, and not to worry, they can't hurt you. They're just there to give you a bit of a scare, as if demons, sort of like the bastions of evil, are just mischievous kids, just out to just sort of like, you know, essentially Scooby-Doo villains, just there to give people a fright, nothing else. Yeah,
they're all waiting, all sat there together thinking, "Oh, what are we going to do? Hang on, I can hear someone coming." Well, we don't hurt them, we'll just scare them, because we feed off their fear, apparently. So why would they not want to scare you if they feed off your fear? That doesn't make sense.
No, they want to scare you, but they won't harm you.
Right.
So I mean, essentially, just don't be afraid of them.
I mean,
just let them go around you and go beep boo beep boo beep boo, and then they'll go away.
His whole butthurt is to do with the fact that all Wayne and I ever said when he was on Andy Jack's Hangout was, "That's interesting. We'd like to come on and talk to you about it." And I said, "I think I could debunk that." And then he got really, really upset just at that one sentence. And ever since then, he's just gone fucking mental.
Was it not when I says, "Yeah, well, I'm interested there, but I need to see the raw, unedited, high def."
Yeah, well, I was talking to you via a private message, and I sent Andy Jack a message. I said, "I've just been chatting to Wayne. Any chance you could give us the link so we could come on and talk to your mate Dave? Wayne's really interested, but I reckon I could debunk it just with the pareidolia thing and the orbs thing." And he left Andy's Hangout, and then ever since then has been enormously sore-arsed about it. That we daren't disbelieve him, because it is true, because this ex-vicar ghost hunter said so, and Andy believes him. And then the other evidence was he interviewed his relatives and friends that had been down the hole with him, and literally said to them on camera, "I'm telling the truth, aren't I?" And they went, camera switches to his mate, he went, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And he did that 3 or 4 times, and because all his mates said, "Yeah, you're a nice bloke, and you're telling the truth," that is extra evidence, of course.
It was kind of like Andy's explanation for why he doesn't think Dave's lying, or Dave's telling the truth, or couldn't be mistaken, because he's a nice bloke.
Yeah, because he stayed at his house.
That's it.
Yeah.
I
stayed at his house. He made me a bacon sandwich, so therefore he must be telling the truth. Go ahead, Simon.
Yep. He stayed at my place, and he made me a bacon sandwich when I stayed at his place. He's a nice guy, therefore he's telling the truth. Therefore there are ghosts.
Because nobody who makes a bacon sandwich would lie.
Sorry. Of course not. No, they wouldn't, would they?
I'm just going to say one thing, that Simon looks really like Mick Jagger with those glasses on.
He does. Yeah, Keith. Yeah, Keith. But obviously, we're all cursed now anyway, because something terrible is going to happen to us.
Drugs.
After,
at this stage, like the amount of people and fuckwits that I've dealt with on the internet and the interwebs,
some of whom are sat here,
that have actually fucking cursed me and said, "I'm going to take 2 years off your life, or you're going to suffer some disease." I don't know why I'm actually still sitting here talking to you people, because I should be dead.
Well, you're already cursed. You're Irish.
You're not. You're in a coma just imagining all this shit.
Of course I am.
Potato.
Lucky Charms.
Yeah, one of the things I took from Dave's latest messages is that apparently me and Mark are now responsible for children who were dying with cancer not getting the benefits from his book.
Yeah,
all 57 pence.
Yeah, the internet people found out he was going to write the book, and for some reason threatened his life. Don't know why, unless they were lovers of literature. That might have been a reason.
I tell you what it was. It was actually ghosts. It was ghostwriters. They were telling him not to write the book because then they'd have to kill him to keep their secrets.
Well, yeah, he was going to write a book, but he can't write and he's not literate, so he employed, as I said, a ghostwriter. And then, so that person was threatened as well, and the book never came out, and that apparently somehow has deprived the poor kiddies of lots of charity.
But what I'm saying is now a book that never got written, apparently me and Mark are now responsible for.
Yeah.
For those kids dying of cancer.
I actually heard.
So we have saved all readers of good books. I mean, 50 Shades of Grey was bad. Fucking hell.
I actually heard that unless you go down into the tombs and the catacombs with him on a certain night of the year and repent of your sins and see what's going on really down there in his eyes, that a singularity will occur and the universe will end.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's highly likely. That sounds really plausible.
Yeah, I'd rather just not be bummed.
Apparently Dave said I'm a pushy idiot because I asked for evidence of his demons.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, asking for unedited original footage apparently is being an evil internet person who wants to destroy his life.
Somebody called Dresden threatened him or something.
Right, that's the thing, right? He originally said that Thick Shades and Pandaman took his channels down. This is Dodgy Dave.
Yeah.
So now he's best buddies with Pandaman and Thick Shades, and so is Andy.
Yeah.
And he's now changed his story and said it wasn't Thick Shades who took his channels down after all, or Pandaman. It was this mysterious Dresden Dave guy. So...
It wasn't you then, Wayne? Wasn't you?
Something to do with plagiarism as well. It sounds more and more like like Jason Burns every day.
But the point is that for somebody who's saying that, like, say, oh yeah, you've all turned on me, and all this lot, but to say, yeah, some of these, the greatest guys on the internet are my brothers in Christ, and I will never turn on them ever again. G-Man, True Empiricism, Beckel, Ram Campbell, Thick Shades, Pandaman.
It's meant. I mean, also he seems a bit. I had to say, go on in, but Dave does seem a bit dense because, or slow, because he said a friend of you, Noyers, tried to tell me he lived in Dover. That'd be you, Chaz, and said he wanted to recreate the events in my story in a scientific way, down to the last detail. And because he had a broken leg at the time, he's suggesting that one of us has to actually break our leg to be able to recreate the events. So he said you first have to smash your tibia with a sledgehammer and sit in a wheelchair for 4 years. Add to that the torment from gangs attacking you in hospital, or no, gangs attacking you, hospital screw-ups, and 100 other things that happened to me, he said, at the same time. Then we can begin the science.
Hold on. He seems to be saying that this thing is impossible to reproduce, unless you go through a lot of things that would cause you to be very depressed and not mentally competent.
I think when you said recreate it, he's taking it literally. He means recreate it literally.
Marcus spotted a plot hole there. The plot hole there is you've got to smash his leg with a sledgehammer, right? Yeah. Now the thing is, does this mean he's now claiming that somebody with a sledgehammer knocked him off his motorbike instead of riding like a cunt?
He then says he knows a lot more about bones and non-unions, osteomes, and bone morphogenetic protein bone grafting. He doesn't use commas. He says that he's even offering that I can volunteer to be him so he can smash my legs. Oh, lovely bloke. And he says his icon, he says, thanks to the man in the picture of my icon, which is, of course, God Almighty himself. So apparently he's got a photograph of God.
Wow, that should be worth something on eBay.
Have we discussed Billy Butthurt yet?
Which one's Billy Butthurt?
Bill, Bill
Butler.
No, the guy, the other, Andy's other little goblin.
William of the Butler clan or clan.
No, I mean we can talk about him, no problem. But the person I was talking about was the guy that every time Andy does a video, he comes and attacks all of us.
Oh, I don't know who he is.
Bill.
That'd be that's Panda Man, Bill.
Yeah. Have we discussed him yet? I was just wondering.
He's a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic. That bloke.
Yeah, he's just
couple.
He's just a fucking great stupid lummox.
Onto another topic that we seem to have. The one about FIFA I just wanted to mention that I'd read that made me astounded was apparently in order to get a vote from Saudi Arabia for the 2006 World Cup, the eventual hosts Germany sent Saudi Arabia a large shipment of rocket-propelled grenades.
What a surprise! I'm completely amazed.
What the fuck? It's true. Actually, Germany sent Saudi Arabia weapons so they could host the World Cup.
I'm shocked that they do something like that. Really.
Yeah, but the thing is about FIFA is perhaps one of the most corrupt organisations in the world, but it's still about 1 million times better than the Roman Catholic Church. I would have Sepp Blatter as Pope any day.
That is quite funny. When you've got a bunch of virgins, when you've got a bunch of virgins meeting so they can decide who gets to wear the white dress and the red shoes.
But the thing with FIFA is it's got in common with the Vatican. It exists in a lot of places.
Well, the other one, the other one that's corrupt is the Olympic Committee. That's nearly as corrupt as FIFA.
And it is a very sucky place.
Well, we're going to move on to
FIFA's on a level. FIFA is on a level like not even Formula One can achieve. I give FIFA the yellow card.
Red card, yeah. I know there was
a topic.
The
Olympic? What about the Olympic?
I don't have a
Salt
red
Lake
card.
City, yeah, they were prosecuted and they dealt with it.
The committee is incredibly corrupt.
Yeah, that samurai guy, he was a cunt.
They gave it to London a few years ago.
Yeah,
so that's perfectly all right.
Yeah, that's perfectly acceptable. There's no corruption there at all whatsoever.
No, not at all.
No.
Us British corrupt.
Anyway, can I just point out, we
didn't need to bomb anybody.
We did have the best Olympics ever in the existence of the world. Let's not deny that.
No, apparently that's not true. Apparently it's been voted that Sydney's was the best.
Oh, you can't beat James. You can't beat James Bond jumping out of a helicopter with the Queen of England into the Olympic Stadium.
I was hoping the parachute would fail.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, they had to ruin it.
When it comes to Ireland, you're all fucked.
Yeah,
they ruined the British one by having an ancient Paul McCartney on.
Oh yeah, that was embarrassing.
There was mooted an Irish Olympics, but the events were crap. I mean, heading the shot, catching the javelin, holding the nail for the hammer thrower, 100 metres breaststroke for non-swimmers, all the Irish events.
Eating the
potato.
Yeah, flick the leprechaun.
Yeah.
The potato race, they get a spoon each. With the potato on it instead of an egg.
4-day lock-in.
The marathon for incontinence.
I just want to maybe bring up just one thing which has been worrying me.
Hang on, Simon's talking.
Unfortunately,
that doesn't make any difference.
Throwing the leprechaun has been banned.
What? Because they couldn't find any leprechauns?
No,
because they're not real.
It was picking on small people.
Chasing the rainbow for the pot of gold at the end.
Exactly.
Sorry, Simon, go on.
No, it wasn't that. It's just I wanted to bring up about the Kent place and the personal revelation that Dave had down there. And I know it's a serious matter because it was a horrific and
terrific. Which one is it?
Horrifically terrific experience, and I don't want to negate that. But I didn't notice that Andy had also had a personal revelation. So did we hear about that? I think it might have been in Greece in a restaurant. A place called Tingari, at the bottom of a mountain. And, I've been to Greece, and there are some, astounding revelations there if you're interested in that kind of life. I just wondered what other people would think about that.
Well, I do know how to separate the men from the boys in Greece.
I'm sorry, was that serious? Were you serious?
They use a crowbar usually.
I have no idea.
I'm trying to find out where Simon's going with this. There must be.
I have no idea.
I was just getting phased out by the you-knows. I thought Cliff was here.
Oh, bless him.
Oh.
Love you, Cliff.
Right,
Keep
we've
that
got
you're not
I
having
think
to be
we've
here
got
anymore.
to get.
love you,
we've all
Cliff.
had the.
We've done the first. Sorry, Simon, you're
I
breaking
was
up.
I was going. We've all been on a holiday to Greece and had some kind of revelation, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've had plenty of
Usually,
revelations in Greece.
usually you get a couple of dinner plates chucked at you.
I had a revelation in
And-
Greece. I had a revelation that a public toilet without any toilet paper is a really bad place to be.
What is it about you and public toilets? You know you're kind of letting the secrets out here, aren't you?
No, I've got lots of stories about public
Two
toilets.
stories, two public toilet stories.
Yeah.
It's a bit,
Well, I
yeah.
spend a lot of time in public toilets,
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously.
Looking for
especially when I'm
Josh
seeking Josh Shelley. Boom, boom.
I actually had a false revelation in Greece, and that was that Olivia Newton-John was actually a very attractive woman.
Oh, very good.
That's my childhood sweetheart you're talking
Oh
about.
God, it took me nearly 5 seconds to get that one. Oh,
So we're just over the hour.
So
we
quick on Annabelle terms.
We best get on to the other subject Wayne wanted to discuss, which was circumcision was one of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Swine.
He wanted me to mention it.
Annabelle, calm yourself.
Please, because you know I'm going to get emotional. I'm going to
Yeah, it's no. It was just that article. The thing. I mean, I know one of our acquaintances is very, very upset about the story. The woman in America who was imprisoned because she ran away with her child because she didn't want to have the child circumcised. She didn't believe in it. She was locked up, and to escape prison, she, under duress, signed the consent form for the child's circumcision.
Mutilation.
5 years old. Yeah. And then, after thinking that signing this form would let that prisoner, says, right, well, we've got you for something else anyway, and apparently kept her locked up.
Who was forcing
Hang on, Annabelle.
Asking, that's all.
Just hang on a sec. Go on, I forgot what I was going to say. Go on.
Who was forcing her to have her child mutilated?
I think it was. Was it
The husband wanted it to happen.
Okay.
The ex-husband, apparently.
And they booked it, didn't they? It was all booked up to go, and she ran away with the boy. As far as I know, I might be wrong. She ran away with him rather than, and then they caught up with her, arrested her, and then while she was in prison under duress, they basically said, "You're going to stay here for a long time unless you sign the forms." She signed the forms in tears, on camera, absolutely distraught. And then, as Wayne said, once she signed the forms, they said, "Well, you're staying in prison anyway because we're going to do you for something else."
What kind of world is it that we live in where it's perfectly acceptable to mutilate newborn babies?
Well, it isn't acceptable. That's the thing. It's just that it's religious, so they get away with it.
Well, it's not
acceptable to mutilate one set of persons,
Just hang on, Chaz.
It doesn't matter what type of religion you have in England or America. There is no way you'd get to circumcise a girl for religious reasons.
No.
I want to turn this over to Chaz in a minute because I think it's. I want to say something first. It's not just religion. I mean, like you've got the Jews, the Muslims, but in terms of like Americans, it all came about through Kellogg.
Yeah, but he was.
Is that what he made cornflakes out of?
Yeah. It was apparently originally because some English fucking preacher or something, had said that it prevented masturbation, and so that went across the Atlantic. All the revivalist Christians in the 19th century jumped on it, and it persists to this day.
Another great
British
addition to the world.
Mark and I had a conversation with a guy in Nadia's room about 3 months ago. He came in, he'd never been in before, and we were talking about circumcision, and he butted in and said, "I'm going to get my son circumcised." And me and Mark went, "Why? Why would you do that?" And he said, "Well, I mean, it boiled down to aesthetic reasons, that he was concerned that because all the other boys would be circumcised, it would be bad for him if he wasn't." I mean, that was his reasoning.
Yeah. I've had a message. There was Rizla has said, "Where are the white women at?" And Drag pointed out there's one so far, and Rizla said, "Annabelle is a titan, not a woman." Brackets Medusa.
How did he know that Annabelle's tight?
I've told him.
Oh, very good, a Titan. Very good. Yes.
Very good.
The boy's in love. The boy's in love.
Yeah, he is.
Right, any more tips on circumcision? See what I did? Tips? See what I did?
Yeah. Well,
here all week.
Right. Before I want to bring Chaz into this topic in a second, because here's the thing: can't understand why the feminists can't unite with with the men that they hate on this issue, because they want people. Well, that is the fucking problem with the feminists.
Here we go.
Hang on, bear with me. Don't fucking react, right? They will go on about every fucking banal issue, right?
Coffee and lifts.
I'm on about the radical feminists now, not what you call actual feminists.
Okay, fair enough.
Not real women.
Yeah, real women.
Ones.
Real women with real
New
concerns,
wave.
not fucking idiots, right?
Third wave.
Third wave, that's it. Third wave. Sorry.
So forget about when
Who haven't sewn up their
They're
own.
not making
vagina.
80s records.
Yeah. So how come you never hear this new wave of feminist fucktards going on about FGM?
Exactly.
About FGM?
Female genital mutilation.
Yeah, I know what it is. I just wanted to check that's what you said. But they do, though. I mean, why are you saying they don't?
It never seems to be a big thing that concerns them.
Well, I think if you did a bit of research, you'd find that it's one of the issues. But what the thing with them is they take other things and talk about them. That for example, the whole gaming thing. That to me is ridiculous. I just can't believe it's become such a. It's ridiculous.
Question, Annabelle. What is more important, right? Damsels in distress in computer games, or the subjugation of women?
Well, obviously. The subjugation of women. I mean, obviously that's. I mean, I don't get this gaming thing.
So why isn't the new wave of feminism concerned primarily and swamped with the subjugation of women?
Well, I think
because it's lazy activism.
Well,
that's why.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the problem is
Twitter activism.
Internet. Yeah, it's called the internet, and it's just easy to get upset about anything on the internet.
Yeah.
I think you're reasonable feminists and the ones that are actually doing things and not just yapping away on the internet.
So back to male circumcision, right? This is one of the. I mean, I'm not an MRA. I'm not invested in this topic.
I know you're not.
But like I say, I do. They've got some.
Charities, but you're not.
Sorry,
I'm not an MRA.
Are they a bit like the IRA?
Not quite as violent.
Right, hang on. But the thing is, right. So, but a legitimate concern of men's rights activism, or what's the word, advocacy, is the equality of babies to not be mutilated.
Yeah, I mean, I get that completely.
Now, why are social justice warriors of a male persuasion demonising MRAs for standing up for male babies?
I don't think I've seen that, Wayne.
I'm not talking to make a general point. Now, I'll turn that over to Shaz. Right, go on, Shaz. You're the expert on this.
The thing is that half the time you'll get people who call themselves like male feminists, and these sort of like these white knighting people, who they will ridicule and criticize that the MRA brings up male circumcision as a reasonable case where men's rights aren't protected as much as women's rights are. We have laws against female genital mutilation. We even have the NHS now classing piercings as genital mutilation in a new system that they're going to be doing in the NHS. But we don't have any sort of rules against circumcising young boys at all. And rather than just answer that concern and be like, well, yeah, we'll get involved with that, that is equality, it then becomes, oh no, you're just trying to talk about the men's, and you're trying to silence women by talking about issues that affect men. And
well, I'll go back to what I said originally. I know Wayne has said it's not, but I believe that the reason it gets a free pass is because it's a religious
no, I agree completely. I agree completely, Annabelle. I didn't say that
so is female circumcision.
Yeah, but it's not a tradition over here. Come on, you know that. We've never done that here or in America. But I mean, clearly it does happen in the Middle East and in India and places like that. But it's a really established tradition here within the Jewish community, but it's a very cultural thing in the States. It's much more than just a tradition, a religious thing. But it comes from religion, though. That's where it comes from.
Yeah, that's what I said.
The point is also, though, of course, that people say, well, female circumcision is far more damaging and far more painful for the woman than it is for the man. And I see where they're coming from, but that doesn't make the difference.
I mean, actually, it's not entirely
true.
Some forms of female genital mutilation are worse than male circumcision.
Right.
But there are some forms of female circumcision which are very commonplace, which are actually less.
Can I just make a point as well? Can I
also want to finish the point I was making? Sorry, Annabelle. But I don't think that actually the effect matters. It doesn't matter if it affects somebody a little bit or a lot. You're still mutilating somebody who doesn't have a choice in the matter.
But with the female mutilation, it's to do with just pleasure. That's what they want to stop the woman from feeling pleasure. With the male,
why we have male circumcision.
Well, no, it's not just that. That the argument that, of course, that they have for male circumcision is that it stops infectious diseases and all that sort of thing. And we all know that's bollocks because the majority of Englishmen are not.
No pun intended. I must admit that doesn't matter. No female that's ever slept with me has had any pleasure whatsoever. I'm quite proud of that.
Are you actually boasting that you're lousy in bed?
As far as tradition goes, that leads me on
to
one.
Never conscious.
Before we get to Wayne's other sort of topic, there was in the UK, the first man has been jailed for forced marriage today in Cardiff in Wales.
Yeah, I saw that.
He was jailed for 16 years after making a 25-year-old woman marry him under duress last year. He was sentenced to 4 years for the forced marriage, 12 months for bigamy because he married someone else, and 12 months for voyeurism to run concurrently with a 16-year rape sentence.
Good.
So that should serve as a deterrent in this country against. I think one of them also they mentioned he was 16 when he first got hold of some other girl as well, and the girl's father said he would rather kill her than have her shame her family by marrying outside who they wanted her to marry.
Yeah, terrible state of affairs.
And that leads us on to the last topic before we open the hangout generally, is Wayne wanted to discuss a certain Mr. Shives, I believe.
Well, the thing is, I've tabled it for discussion, but I'm not the expert. Mr. Chaswold is the expert on male SJWs like Mr. Shives.
Wayne, can I ask a question? Have you been having sex with Chaz?
No. Well, yes.
We just did a bit of docking, right? It was just the tip.
Just the tip. Just a bit of sexting.
When can I have sex with Chaz? When's it my turn? Silence. Thanks, Chaz.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that.
He's not going anywhere near that with his circumcised penis.
I'm uncircumcised.
Careful what you say now.
Say again, Wayne, sorry?
It's like an anteater wearing a raincoat.
It's like a biro in a baked bean can.
What's that?
The top of your cock.
Whoa! Did you just say what I think you said, Jim?
But we already know because Rizzler said it was a titan.
My vagina was like having sex with me was like having putting a biro in a bean can. Is that what you just?
No, I didn't actually mention having sex with you.
Yeah, well, all right. You were inferring, yes, of course.
All right, I get you. So it's like the local saying we have here. It's like throwing a sausage up a general.
All right, everybody. Yeah. All right, you don't have to discuss my.
Would Dodgy Dave have a paranormal experience in there?
It's
is that
like
what you're saying?
driving a Mini through the Channel Tunnel.
All right.
Did you hear that, Annabelle? Chaz said it'd be like Dodgy Dave would have a supernatural experience in there.
I don't want to be anywhere near Dodgy Dave. I can smell him from here.
You're not going to show him your Bastion.
Pilchard and tobacco, that's what he smells like.
Pilchard and tobacco. Ooh.
I can guess where the ectoplasm came from then.
I have just sent Miss Andy Jack the link and said come on in, but
because if he doesn't come in,
or at least can he just come out?
He's a coward. Yeah. Wasn't he calling? He was calling David Errol Hickman a coward for not appearing in the hangout that he'd organised.
Yeah, even though David Errol Hickman lives in Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was like,
so surely Andy, who lives in England, if he doesn't appear, he is a coward by his own
He's probably
definition.
busy stabbing his wife at this time.
after that hangout yesterday, or
Just after he's taking his
fighting demons, or picking his nose and eating the bogies.
Right.
He did that for a while.
I want to point out, right, Andy Jack isn't gay. He's got a wife, except on his birthday, he didn't actually get any nookie from her, and he didn't seem all that fussed by that. So I'm wondering,
when you're spending your 50, the countdown to your 50th birthday on a hangout on your own, watching some fucking creatard loon from 1985 spout bollocks. I mean, what hope is there?
While your wife's upstairs flicking herself off.
Yeah,
your fucking life is over. For fuck's sake, your life is over at that stage.
Yeah, it's my birthday. I'm going to spend it on my own, talking to myself.
Fuck that.
Yeah, Chaz, I think in response to those accusations, I think I would just quote a very famous philosopher and say it takes more of a man to ditch your pride and to swallow your pride. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
I'm sure he's swallowed quite a lot of things.
With you guys,
with Dodgy Dave,
with fucking you guys, right? Your pride is the biggest thing you're holding on to. That's the problem with you atheists.
I've got my hands down my pants.
That's why you're going
to something bigger than my pride.
And if no one's got any hope, it's a hopeless world.
Basically, what we're saying is that Andy, if you're watching this, get upstairs and shag the missus.
And it's a very
smash her back doors in.
It's a very
yeah, punch her in the tits and do her in the Gary.
Gary.
If she ain't coughing up her kidney, mate, you're doing something wrong.
I had a woman like that once. She said to me, she had weak kidneys. I said, lay on your side. I'll try and miss them.
And while we're finishing there, I just have to point out that I watched an hour-and-a-half video. It started with him looking for a link. And it ended an hour
There's another woman that
it's not enough time now.
I met her in a club. I said, do you want to come out to my place? She can't. She's like, I can't do anything. I've got acute angina. I said, well, your tits aren't bad either.
We've given him so much ammunition. Tomorrow morning it's going to be all fucking, these atheists, they're all crude and making jokes about my wife, my sanity,
hang
my
on,
mates.
guys, hang on. Hang on, I can hear something. Hang on, guys. It's all right. Let me just get a knife. I think there's an intruder.
Keith's coming.
Yeah, but I went out through the bedroom window, Andy.
What the fuck has he got there?
Is that a samurai sword or something?
I hope it's not his penis.
No, unlikely.
What a weapon.
No, it's all right. It's the wife.
Yeah.
What sort of sword is that? Is that like?
We'll need that down the Bastion, Simon.
Pork sword.
In case we see any ghoulies.
It's just a little knife I had at hand, you know. But sometimes guys just walk in here.
I like the fact that Dave says we've got to go there alone on Halloween. He fucking didn't. He went there with 4 mates and a torch, and he said it was absolutely terrifying. It was so terrifying, he went back the second time. I mean,
is there something about a young boy guiding him round there or something?
Yeah. Some. It's
young boy.
Yeah, it's
that's a bit telling.
He made it sound like there was a queue of Sherpas outside the door or something. You know, Tenzing, I don't know what his name was, and they had to abseil down somewhere. I don't know.
You don't have to abseil down. You just jump down this tiny little drop. Literally, it's only like 8 foot tall. This wall that you jump down from into the moat. And then you walk around the moat, and then there's a window you climb through, which has got footholes smashed into the bricks.
Yeah, I think they used ropes.
There's plenty of things smashed into the bricks down there, Chaz.
They used ropes, I think, and I think they had a base camp as well, probably. It made it out to be a big operation.
Really, no, right? There is a road. You can even drive most of the way you need to go. I will go on the Google Maps. I'll bring it up again, and I will show you.
Yeah, well, Dave made it sound like something out of The Descent.
No.
Well, just hang on a minute. Let me tell you something now, right? Our bike club meets in a pub in Sheffield, right? And it's known as the most haunted building in Sheffield. And in all the time, the
Haunted by bikers.
No, it's from the English Civil War. It dates back that far.
I didn't know they had bikers back then.
And to my knowledge, nobody's ever seen a ghost. The most haunted building in Sheffield, and apparently no one's ever felt a ghost. Something like that. And the fucking rafters might be settling, of course. It's been so ancient, but yeah. So I don't really need to go to Bastion. I can just go and sit in our club.
Well, I did send Andy Jack the
White
link.
box me again.
I sent Andy Jack the link to the James Randy's £1 million challenge. So hopefully he'll be able to use the money for the kiddies when he wins the £1 million.
Present Chaz to everybody.
I am.
He hasn't responded to that, has he, Mark?
Hang on, Annabelle.
This is the train station in Dover Priory. That's where the detached bastion is. You can literally walk up this road here, then up the side here there's a set of stairs, which will then drop you out on this road, yeah? You then follow this road around.
Oh, it's cars.
Yeah? You can even drive there. You can park here, yeah? And look, there's the detached bastion just there. That's far away.
Can you pick me up at the station? Because I don't think I can walk that far.
How deep is the bastion then?
I'll be checking.
There's a little. You walk along here, yeah, and there's a little drop that drops you in here, which is only about like an 8-foot high wall, yeah, and then you're inside the moat.
Yeah, but 8 foot high is quite high when you're running out terrified.
How deep underground would you have to go before you saw any ghoulies?
You don't go underground. This thing is built into the hill, so that's like you can see that's where the hill goes up there.
So it's like a walk in the forest then.
It's not even really that much of a forest. To be honest, it's quite woody, but it's not like as woody as, say, some forests are, like Lyminge Forest, which is just down.
Lyminge?
Yeah.
Lyminge?
Yeah, Lyminge.
Oh, we have to go to Lyminge.
Yeah.
I
just want to say that I'm taking Annabelle to Lyminge.
We're taking her up the bastion.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I swear to God, I would never put up with this crap from anyone else but you lot. I really wouldn't. The size of my vagina, what you're going to do with my minge. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
You got wobbly
anal bleaching?
Anal bleaching?
Can I come on your tits?
Yes or no?
I'm just curious about two things, Annabelle. Firstly, Tommy Hall and his obsession with your rectum.
Yeah, well, that's my fault.
Secondly, I'm also curious to know your reactions to Shamos arriving back in the community.
Okay, with Tommy Hall's my fault because he asked me because he was being funny about anal sex, his favourite subject, and I responded with everybody does anal sex, everybody, and he said, have you had anal sex?
My cat doesn't.
Well, my dogs do, and I said, yeah, of course I have. And then he's never ever, every single time we talk, he asks me if I'm still having anal sex. So that's that.
And are you?
Yeah. Well, not at this moment, clearly, but yeah, I am still having anal sex.
Can you say that again? Get to the tissue paper in time.
Wendy would point out that male circumcision is a religious issue in North America and the UK. Perhaps I'd agree with that, but it's just I don't come across.
We just don't. It's not a cultural thing, Wendy. We just don't automatically.
Well, we don't because we're not religious, but there are plenty that do.
Yeah, but not really out of the Jewish faith.
Well,
what about the Muslims?
The point
they
being,
circumcised? I didn't know that.
They're also.
Yeah, they circumcised as well.
Okay, so we're looking at about 5% of the population then.
Don't matter how many, Annabelle.
You're not getting an argument from me. I'm just pointing out how many in this country probably do it.
I think the point being made here is that America does culturally circumcise.
Yeah, exactly.
Outside of the Jewish.
What about Catholics? Are they into circumcision?
So,
no, Catholics don't.
I'm going to put the link out generally. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 3 spaces for anyone that wants to come in.
But the thing is that I had several relationships when I was in the States, and I never had one with it's really weird. I never had one with a circumcised man. Isn't that weird?
Nor have I.
My husband wasn't circumcised. He was a New Yorker.
Yeah, but were there any demons in him?
Oh, definitely, absolutely, 100%.
He put a few demons in Annabelle.
Honestly, is this? Am I going to get this every time I come into the show?
And a fair amount
I should have to think.
Well, you're assuming you're getting invited back.
Yeah, every time you're here, I come on the show.
Mark wouldn't dare not invite me back. He knows how much trouble he'd be.
It's not just my show. It's the Big Spoilers show.
Okay, so who would like me to who wants me back next week?
You can come back next week. You behaved. I think you're all right.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind, Mark.
Hi, Drag.
I think we
So
have to
that's
introduce
12.5%
a duct tape policy, though.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you'd like that a lot, wouldn't you, Chaz?
Is Chazwell circumcised? Not Chazwell, Dragnaut, sorry. Because I've still got him white boxed.
Drag, I've got a question for you too. You've gone on to get what's it called? When you get yourself funded, when people give you money to do Hangouts. Patreon. I was going to ask you about that because we made our feelings quite clear on that last week.
He wants to
hang on.
Oh, look at him!
Andy.
It's Skeletor.
Hello. Hi, Andy.
It's Andrew Beckett.
It doesn't look too happy. What's up, Andy? What's the matter?
Hi, Wendy.
Having a bad day?
Hi, Andy.
He's got the red light on.
Let him speak then.
Yeah,
There's somebody in the background who's giving the thumbs up.
That's his son, I think.
Look at that.
Be careful you don't stab him.
Well, let him speak then. Hello, Andy. How are you?
Nobody but in yet.
You've got to unmute yourself, Andy.
Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah, you got to unmute, mate.
Everybody be nice.
That's it. Now try.
Right, for the past 5 months I've been spending lots of time and effort and thousands of pounds on a new business. And I've noticed at the start of your hangout that some gentleman was wearing a hat with a similar name to the company which I'm starting up. If this in any way damages the name of the company, I will be ripping the video, send it to my solicitor, and I'll let him deal with it.
Andy,
nothing more to say.
Silly threats which can't mean anything.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
It was about G-Man, wasn't it?
Somebody.
It was Simon had the words. I had no idea what it meant, but
neither did I.
We do now.
But
did you know that, Simon? Did you know that?
No.
How could we have possibly known that Andy Jack would have started a business selling contraceptive caps?
Yeah, I'm absolutely bemused.
Yes. If someone else is already using the name.
This is just another part of his illness. Let's not be.
It was a G-Man-esque thing that Simon did with the two words in it. But I didn't know that was the name of his company. But
Simon very clearly said when he put it on that it was the G-Man. It was aimed at G-Man. So I don't know where he's got this idea from.
Oh well, we better leave it there then. But,
I want to rip into Andy Jack more, thinking that he can somehow claim liable and damages from that. Good luck, mate. You obviously haven't looked into English law any time recently. It's not America. It's extremely fucking hard to sue people for liable over here. Most people don't even fucking bother. That's how difficult it is.
And anyway, if by some coincidence Simon actually advertised the name of Andy's company, that's just free advertising, isn't it?
Exactly. That's 33 more people that ever see his company.
And has he just drawn attention to something that nobody even knew?
Yeah.
No,
No, but hang on.
Hang on. Simon can explain.
Hang on. If I may, okay, it's clearly not the same wording. Okay, clearly not the same wording. So whatever you're talking about, Andy, I really have nothing to fear from you.
Unless he's trying to say he's going to start a cap company called Cap. Then, he's just talking out of his claptrap. I think.
He said it was similar. He didn't say it was the same. He said it was similar, which is even more ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, out of all of the things he could have said coming into this room, that was the most batshit insane thing.
Exactly. That's what I just pointed out.
Well, I'm going to defend him. I'm not familiar with English law. I'm going to have to get with DPR Jones about this because I know that's his field. Is there such a thing as almost libel?
No.
Okay,
I
tried.
I'm completely bemused. I'm bemused.
Did you not notice?
I'm pretty sure.
He's probably just going to get a court order to have everybody on the G Plus Hangouts block us.
Did you not notice at the start, Wayne?
We won't be allowed in anyone's hangouts anymore.
Yeah, but I just thought it was a hat that had cap on it.
Yeah, it was aimed at G-Man. It wasn't even aimed at Anti-Jack. That's why it's so ridiculous. Well, that's what Simon said before we went on air.
By the way, I just want to say about his new business venture, Andy Jack, you're a fucking idiot. I doubt it's going to go anywhere with you as captain of the helm. I mean, fuck me, the Titanic had a better captain at his helm, and he was drunk off his tits. And look what happened there. Just saying. And he was somewhat competent at his job. You won't be at yours.
He was visibly upset by that, though. Like someone had killed his cat.
You know what? He's like, does anybody remember that
surely somebody would have killed his cat.
What was his name? Rob Beasley. Does anybody remember Rob Beasley?
Oh, the Australian guy, yes.
A bit mental and disappeared from the internet. That's what Andy Jack's becoming like now.
Does anybody think that what just happened is basically because of the concerns that me and Mark have raised about Dodgy Dave wanting to get hold of our docs and actually fucking cause us harm?
Well, I don't know whether did Simon have any inkling of the name. That's what I wanted to know. Otherwise, it's a huge coincidence.
Well, I don't think you can ask that question, Mark. To be fair,
right?
Because Andy has just threatened legal action against Simon, so whatever he says could be incriminating.
Yes,
so,
true.
Which is why he could also say he didn't now, and that would end it.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if he did, is he saying that he can now impeach on his right to free speech and expression? We have a Court of Human Rights bill. I think it trumps your silly "I'm offended" rant.
And also, if it's a company that's not actually set up yet, because he said he's in the process of setting it up, then if it doesn't actually exist,
camcap.com.
And what does similar mean anyway?
Is he just super gluing GoPros on the top of people's baseball caps?
This is just Andy Jack having a meltdown. This is just part of it. That's all.
Oh dear. But he didn't disappoint. I mean, we can't call him a coward for not coming on, can we? We can't say he's a coward for not coming on. We can say he's a coward for running away after 20 seconds.
I basically think that what's just happened is a complete ridiculous attempt to rationalise and justify.
Hello.
What the
Hello.
fuck?
Oh, drag.
Goodbye.
Are you all?
Was it Andy Jack soccer account or something?
Williams, that's interesting.
It was probably that. I bet that was Dodgy Dave.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, so that was basically to rationalise and dilute mine and Mark's legitimate fears about having our docs down. And so I was thinking, well, look, Saintly Dave's done nothing compared to them destroying my fictional business.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any such business.
That doesn't actually go to a website, so as far as we're concerned, it's not an established business.
Yeah.
He's going to have no recourse in any British court.
Of course he isn't. He's got no chance.
He won't even do it as well.
He hasn't got the money.
He hasn't got the money. He hasn't got the vaguest sort of fucking notion of any of his rights and why the fact that it wouldn't work anyway. And he's not going to do it because at best he'll go to a lawyer and the lawyer will go, that's not going to work.
Let me clear this up, right?
The lawyer will say,
hang on, Jim. I need to make this the serious point for the viewers, right? The people in this hangout. Now, you can say yes just for the lols, but the question is, does anybody in this hangout want a business of Andy Jack's to suffer? Yes or no?
No.
Right.
I don't give a shit, but it'd be funny to watch it suffer. I think it will suffer as well.
The first question. That was the first question. The second question is, has Dodgy Dave expressed a desire to get hold of mine and Mark's docs, to get my driving license and livelihood removed and damaged, and for Mark to be reported to his employers?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just going to let that hang there.
Shit is hanging.
Yeah.
Hello, you're cool.
Who's that?
I think you misspelled your name.
It's possible.
He had his camera on just a second, so it's not for a second there. So it's not. It's not.
Wait. I know.
I made that mistake once when I was wanking.
This is the guy that him and the Shives thing I was talking about. His skin was coming off his dick.
Right. That only relieves one topic we had left, apart from anything this week that's made Wayne's shit hang, was our award for the Wednesday Wanker.
Jag's naked, everyone. Jag is naked.
With an with a large uncircumcised.
Not for me. I know it doesn't bother any of you, but I'm pretty sure it's bothering me and Wendy. Shouldn't be allowed.
Drag. How many Carsons are you?
Stand up, Drag.
Come on, stand up, Drag, immediately. Otherwise, Mark will boot you. Come on.
Shorts on.
Chop.
Oh, he's got shorts on. That's all right.
Jesus, I want to fuck him now, and I'm not even gay.
Well, that makes you and my wife.
You're my wife now.
Jim's Titan.
You're my wife, Dave.
Yeah.
We're going to explore polyamory.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy it down my well, Drags.
Hey, as long as it's lubed up, why not?
Take him up the
Who have
Bastion.
supernatural experience in there?
Get lost. Someone was asking me a question. I couldn't hear it because I didn't have my headset on.
Oh, the question about whether you were circumcised or not, was that the other question?
I think that was one. It was something about the Patreon. I am circumcised.
Oh, the Patreon question. Yeah.
Well,
we talked about it last week, and we basically came to the conclusion that anyone that gets a Patreon account is a complete cunt by definition.
Oh, okay. Well, let me explain. I'm not gonna contest that though. But, I got a message from someone today, and they said they actually found my Patreon and they donated $5, and I was like, what? Because let me explain what happened. I made one along with everyone else, and I say everyone else, everyone from Skeptic Fence Show, Live Life, Dark Matter, Matt Dillahunty. So I said, okay, well, why not? I intended on actually making regular videos and having a scheduled events and stuff like that, but I just kind of left it by the wayside. Hell, one of the donation rewards was me doing naked push-ups. It wasn't serious at all. So I actually
That was me.
Well, you had to donate $100 a month, so it was obviously satire. But someone donated money, so I said, if someone actually is going to pay me money a month to entertain them, then I'm going to take it seriously then. And so if you go to my Patreon now, it's actually set up with some more reasonable prices and more reasonable rewards, and I'll actually go through with it. But
what are you up to now then? You had $5 to begin with. What are you now?
I'm still at $5.
You see, there's nothing against you, Drag, but I just don't get the Patreon thing.
I didn't either.
I mean, I can understand somebody like Aaron Ra, for instance. I mean, I know he goes around campaigning and all this lot, talking to school boards and that. And so somebody wants to get a certain amount of influence and a certain amount of prestige and that, and people are going to want them to devote more time to it. Somebody like Aaron Ra, I am absolutely on board with him having a Patreon so they can give up work and fucking give a heck of a lot of time to the cause. But Nate Cunningham.
Can I just say that I donated to Nadia's Patreon account, and I donate to DP, to Drunken Peasants, because I think I enjoy Drunken Peasants a lot.
Do you think he needs the money?
What we're saying is Annabelle enjoys DP a lot.
Yeah.
Let me send her my number real quick. Yeah. Put it in the chat here.
Is that because you're going to fold it in two?
Oh, need to. To free hysterectomy.
To be fair though, Wayne, I mean, I appear in front of judges quite a lot. Does that mean I should start a Patreon account?
I think if you're bringing a lot of entertainment, and valid entertainment, I don't consider Cunningham to be entertainment. I don't know about anybody else here, but if you're bringing in entertainment, then yeah, you can ask for money because you're spending a lot of time making videos and putting out stuff. But I think if you're just asking for it so you can go fishing, not mentioning any names in the. But at least you're honest, though, Drag. That's
no,
basically
but I think the problem is then the tier system of people. I mean, you might be somebody who's followed somebody on YouTube,
since day one, right? And they might have been going years, but you might not have you might not have money to be slinging into Patreon accounts.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden somebody comes along, and some people with money to chuck around, and it's almost like buying indulgences from.
But I get free private hangouts with drunken peasants, so I'm more than happy to pay for that.
You do what?
They do private hangouts if you pay a certain amount of money every month.
So you chat to TJ, do you?
Yeah.
It's one of the few ways that you can make.
What do you say, Wayne?
You groupie, you.
I am. I'm a massive PP groupie. I don't deny it. I've got a real soft spot for Ben. I think he's brilliant.
It's one of the few ways on the internet that you can actually have to pay money for appearing on video sticking a vibrator up your cunt.
What?
He's talking about like was that a banana reference?
Sorry, I thought yes. I'm hoping you're referring to TJ and the banana and not to me.
I just find that I can't listen to drunken peasants because.
Oh, I love it. It makes me laugh out loud.
Here's the thing, Annabelle. I can't sit through 4 hours just to find one piece of sweet corn.
No, there's plenty of sweet corn. There's an entire field.
Well, you gotta be intoxicated prior to watching it.
I'm not. I don't drink anymore. No, I just think they're funny.
That's me though. That's me though.
All right. They make me laugh. They're so great.
No, it doesn't do it.
Well, no, I don't. It's not for everybody. I appreciate that, but it's my thing. I really enjoy it, and I'm not going to be fashionable and say, "Oh, they're a bunch of wankers," just because everyone else does. I like them.
Now, if they provided timestamps to certain sections, so I could just miss all the like all the chatty American shit.
No, but that's what I watch it for. Is that they make me laugh. I mean, TJ's very amusing because he's got. Well, I don't know what he's got, but he's got something, and it just is. It brings a lot of. I just like them. I can't.
If I could mention something for a second.
Sure.
I didn't notice Andy Jack asked for a link 20 minutes ago. After he'd been in, Pillbox said, "Well done." That'd be all right then.
Oh, well,
and he said he just thought I'd let you know I'll be ripping this hangout and we'll be using it as evidence against you in a court of law. Then he said, Mr. Unoya, which he spelt wrong. You've just landed yourself in very hot water and have left yourself open to slander.
Hang on,
let me finish. At the start of this hangout, your guest, Jackboot Bandit, was sporting a baseball cap with a similar name to my company. This is libelous and slander. Stop this hangout. Hang on. Stop this hangout right now, or face possible action. Or Andy, if you're watching still, it's not slander because someone else wore a baseball cap that happened to have a similar name to your company. Neither is it libelous because that's. I'd have to put something in writing, and I didn't put something in writing. So.
And you've also not done anything negative about it either.
No.
Well, the baseball cap spoke because it had words on it.
I mean, this is just ridiculous. He's making a complete fool of himself.
As the owner of a company, I can tell you that there's a lot of shit you have to go through to get your name, the name of your company, uniquely identified. So if somebody was wearing a hat that was similar to an alleged company,
this stalker that I had
whatsoever.
He would have to have the name of the company trademarked for a start.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It's so ridiculous, yeah.
Because if somebody on this hangout wore a Metallica T-shirt, does that mean they've libelled Metallica? It's fucking stupid on every level you look at it.
It's the most stupid thing. I mean, he's making complete.
It's ridiculous.
Also, I'd like
the more you guys talk about it, the more you're feeding into what he's doing.
Oh no, we're not, because he hasn't got a clue what he's talking about. But I'll just say this: I had my company offices put out on the internet for everybody to see. The guy that was stalking me rang my boss. He tried to destroy my life. Yeah, there was nothing I could do about it unless I was prepared to spend £20,000.
Actually,
so, It's just not possible.
What your colours just said, I actually agree with. He's actually got us talking about something which is not worth talking about.
Well, that's very funny. But it's funny though that he's attempting to try and frighten you guys. It's hilarious to me.
Yeah, and by talking about it, we're actually rationalising it. So don't fucking give him that oxygen.
There you are. Somebody's finally libelled him.
You did say you'd not sent me a link, Mark, to your Hangout, so forget it then. But don't say I didn't want to come on, and don't call me a chicken.
But you did.
I did send him the link. Yeah.
Mark, can you white box Dragon up for a second?
Hang on.
Well, if you guys want me to leave, let me know. If you guys need to get someone else in here, if the room's too full, just let me know and I'll bounce.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. There's no problem. There's no one else screaming to get in.
That is brilliant. We should just keep that up for the rest of the show.
You're holding this pose is very comfortable.
I didn't realise I thought you were a photo.
Come on, you're representing the black community.
Yeah, you've got a steady hand, Drag.
I nearly lost my shit when he spoke then.
Look
I
at it.
thought you had screen captured, actually.
Yeah, say a couple of things, dude, so you'll pop up. Yeah.
Were you in the military, Drag?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually teach you this shit.
Fucking hell, that's brilliant.
It's a shame you can't teach not being a dipstick to Andy Jack, isn't it?
That'd take too long.
The guy is broken.
There's eternity in heaven.
I think Drag definitely needs to buy a ventriloquist dummy because that would.
That was very good.
Can you say bottle of beer without moving your mouth?
Bottle of beer.
Not
it moves a little bit. Bottle of beer. Bottle of beer. I have holes in my mouth.
No, I can't do it.
Well, all I can say is that anybody in the south of England that ever thinks about employing a company called Cap better watch out.
I thought he was in Swindon anyway.
I grew up near Swindon.
Yeah, it's not exactly the most salubrious of towns, is it?
Someone has to.
It's not.
Yeah.
There are plenty.
I think at this point we don't want to be talking about that sort of thing. Just keep it to YouTube issues.
He talks on his own channel about where he lives.
Yeah, there's no need to give him ammunition.
He's not got any ammunition. He's an idiot. He's got.
Which is ironic, seeing as that Shrivenham is the home of the Roman College of Science.
Situation. They spoke about where I live. You've said where you live often enough. Yeah, but that's you doxing me.
Yeah. It's like G-Man.
So pathetic. It's so pathetic.
I'm gonna say something from years of personal or like professional trolling. The best thing to do is to ignore them, because if you do say something about them, it gives them, I'm going to say from personal experience, I like it when people start talking about me when I'm trolling them. It gives me more ammunition. I want to keep on going in and messing with them, especially when they say something that pisses me off. So, I don't know, you can piss them off. I like talking about them because I'll feed into it and talk about it, but it'll piss them off, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, no, what you got to understand
I think that ship sailed, though.
He's different to a troll. He's feeding off this in a different way, and it will get very destructive. It's exactly what happened to Rob Beasley.
Yeah.
He went completely
Your call reminds me of the guy off of Police Academy.
Yeah, Animal.
Do you know what?
Bobcat Goldthwait?
Yeah.
He's the epitome of a troll, though, isn't he? Look at him. He really is.
That's the guy who reminds me of the guy off the. I didn't know his name.
It reminds me of the bloke that won Eurovision.
Sorry, Jim?
He reminds me of the bloke that won Eurovision a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
No, it actually looks a bit like Lars Ulrich out of Metallica.
Yeah, he does. That must be where I got my Metallica reference from.
You should see what I just found on the internet. I googled.
Is it a tsunami of penises?
No, I Google searched that company name, and there's already a company.
Wendy, I can't see you, honey. You're under the.
I know.
All I can see is your head.
Angle's bad. Anyway, there's already a company with that name, and it does live strip club cameras.
Wow.
There's a bunch of companies with the name Caps.
You know what? I've got this
Yeah, but
image,
his is
guys.
Cam-Cap.
Guys, I've
It's
got this
totally
image.
different. He's
I've
not
got this
like
image
that.
of Andy Jack right now. Is you know that little room that he does all his videos in? He's stomping up and down, backwards and forwards, going mental right now. You know he is.
You see his son? His son loved the fact that we were winding him up because just as his dad's pad was dead, he put a big thumbs up to all of us over his dad's back.
Do you think that he's forming a hitman company, as in bust a cap in your ass?
Well, I do know that he'll be frantically emailing or messaging thick shades at this moment.
And Scotland Yard, apparently.
Scotland Yard.
New Scotland
Who do you
Yard.
think he's going to get?
Sorry.
Sherlock fucking
Sorry,
Holmes
Mark.
on the case.
Sorry.
Haven't
Mark, so
they
funny.
moved to New Scotland Yard,
Scotland
though?
Yard, actually. It's New Scotland
No,
Yard.
because that's what they like to call it, because they think they've seen it on films.
Okay.
Phone news. I'm slipper
Just
of the yard.
changing the subject slightly. Has anyone seen the Von Helton call to Scotland Yard?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant.
It is one of the funniest things. And the guy at the end, the operator, the phone operator, was like, "I'm sorry, what exactly are you talking?" Who's that? Who's that?
Right.
That's what you should play every time Andy Jack comes into the room.
That's the Catholic Church theme tune, isn't it?
No, I've got I know the perfect tune for when Andy Jack appears. Right. Oh God, leave it with me. I want to find out what it's called because I can't remember. And it was a tune that was used on the Sweeney. Whenever there were two characters played by Patrick Mower and George Layton. There were two Australian criminals. They were a two-part episode, and whenever they appeared on screen, this like really cheesy 70s theme or 60s 70s theme appeared, was played, and I can't remember the name of it. I will find it. I could do it. Well, I tell you what. I'll do the tune. It goes. Rugby
Special.
It
was Rugby Special.
But it's that, so these two guys are like chirpily walking down the street as if they do these Australians doing the Lambeth Walk, so to speak.
It's the theme tune.
Hang on.
Special.
I've got Andy on the phone.
I mean, you got to say, guys, take that awesome cruise show.
Thanks, Andy.
You got to say something, guys. That the awesome cruise show never got sued.
No, not 3 shows in.
When did it end?
Oh, ages ago, mate.
Yeah, I don't know whether he said goodbye or whether his connection went. I don't know, but I did say at the time, "Oh, Aiden's dropped." No, he didn't say he was going.
I reckon he was the first.
Oh no, he did say "be right back," and then he went.
First victim of Cap, definitely.
Any of you guys watched those videos on Stolen Valor?
On what, sorry?
On Stolen Valor. Just sorry to change the subject. I'm just wondering if any of y'all seen that.
What is it? To give us a bit of
It's
background.
like, you know, like people dressing up like military vets even though they're not vets. It's like they're called Stolen Valor.
Oh, there's been a couple of instances of that we'll do over here with people.
Oh, I actually heard of that on EP.
Old guys going in military parades with like medals that they've like bought at a flea market and that, and
Yeah.
oh, they got absolutely fucking.
Yeah, that's like a crime, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Not
Yeah, I
sure.
think it's like a federal offense or something.
I don't think it's an offence over here, but they get absolutely humiliated and like ostracised and fucking everything.
I just was wondering why people do that. I mean, I'm not a big fan of military or anything, but I think it's just odd people are actually like going around like pretending to be military, like superhero type stuff.
They want the attention when you are in uniform, and you know, if you're sitting around digging your ass, people will come up to you, shake your hand, they want to take pictures of you, and you know, I had a lady on the phone with her mother, stopped dead in her tracks and said, "Mom, I'll call you back," and came up and wanted to shake my hand, my wife's hand, my in-laws there who were both retired military, and she shook their hands, and it's a lot of prestige the second you step out into a big public space. So people
I can understand it.
Oh, hang on, sorry to interrupt you.
I spent 6 months pretending to be a girl guide.
I've got my lawyer on the phone. He's just heard Andy's. Hang on.
Girl guide. Quite.
Sounds like Jim.
Well, that could have been the demons from the deep dark.
That just sounded like Jim.
It did actually. Yeah, I thought it was Jim laughing.
That were uncanny.
It was uncanny. Yeah, it was uncanny. Sorry.
Why did he sound like a German?
Sorry, no, I was just doing my Wayne impression. That
Well, Wayne sounds like
very good. And Wayne, your haircut, I really like your new haircut, by the way.
This is not my new haircut. It's just the haircut I always have from time to time.
Yeah, but you've had it done recently. Either that or you're losing hair at a rapid rate. That's all I'll say.
Well, yeah.
It's kind of the definition of a haircut.
It's always been a bit thin at front, like, but.
Well, even
how many of you guys are from America?
I think there's only you and Drag, and then Wendy's from Canada.
Wolf.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I forgot Wolf. I didn't see his icon there.
We're not going anywhere with that question, or?
I was just wondering, because you guys got most of you guys sound like you got accents. You know what I mean?
No, you're the ones with accents, mate.
Maybe I got the accent.
Yeah, in this room it's you with the accent.
But just going on to what we're talking about the military, I've noticed this, and this is not to disrespect anybody who's been in the military, but what there is, I have noticed that you'll get some ex-military people in this country who really like to play on it. They are like should I say respect seekers. That I would say they've got a chip on the shoulder the size of two 4-stone bags of King Edward potatoes about it. That as soon as anything's mentioned, it's like, oh yeah, we fought for your freedom and that. Like, just because they might have had 6 months in Afghanistan and that, and it's like, no, sorry, not for my freedom, not for my freedom.
What I've been seeing is some of these stolen cases of valor is there's actually military people doing it. They're not that high rank. They want to be high rank, so they'll claim they're like higher rank than what they are.
Oh, so you're talking service personnel dressing up as higher ranks?
Well, yes. Well, they'll claim they'll be at a bar or something. It's not even like they're dressed up. They'll be just saying, "Yo, I'm a military or a Navy SEAL," even though he's just like an MP or something, you know.
Oh yeah, I think I have heard cases of bizarre people in this country have gone around claiming to be SAS, and so the thing is, the telltale is that SAS don't go around telling people they're SAS.
Eve mentioned a comment. She said, "Holy shit, there's something seriously wrong with that guy," meaning Andy, I presume. Matt Bell has said, "Yes, there is. It makes you wonder why some atheists would try to engage such a person with obvious mental difficulties to debate."
That's
this isn't. Hang on. Matt Bell, this isn't. What made you think in any way, shape, or form that this was meant to be, or it is a debate? It's not.
Everything's
I've just commented on that one.
He has a debate. He has a debate with his toilet every morning. He has a debate with his breakfast cereal every morning. He can't help debating. He's an idiot.
He forgets that we still engage him.
Yeah.
Oh, vagina portrait head.
The
only
ultimate
reason
in
why we
irony.
talk to him is because his face looks like a cunt. Let's be honest.
Bell, right, here's the thing.
We got 36 thumbs down now. To the 20 thumbs.
I'd just like to point out the women laugh the hardest at that joke.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
But, you know where those thumbs down are coming from, don't you, Mark? They're all from songs.
Oh yeah, no, I just thought I'd mention it.
Yeah.
Right, listen to this, right? Bell End is done. I've found his fucking kryptonite. Right?
Geritol?
What?
Never mind. Go ahead.
Geritol, it's vitamins for old people.
His kryptonite is William Lane Craig's facts about Jesus. William Lane Craig will stand up in a debate and with the just the balls of a fucking elephant will say, yeah, and the next argument is the 4 facts about Jesus. He'll stand there shamefacedly calling empty tomb, resurrection as facts, when the guy is supposedly fucking intelligent and educated, highly educated. I'll grant William Lane Craig that he's highly educated, right? So he should know what a fact is, and what a historical fact can be classed as, right? I mentioned this to Bell, and in rebuttal, in attempted rebuttal, he actually used a quote from Bart Ehrman, in which Bart Ehrman is basically saying that they are not facts, which is that's the height of retardation.
Did anybody watch?
Craig, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I
got someone trying to draw shades on me. Why don't you just draw a massive cock?
Did anybody watch Gus try and run him in circles? I thought Gus did really, really well. I really enjoyed listening to that. But
I didn't catch that. I heard Soccer talking to him. I didn't hear
no, you've got to try and get the Gus one. I think I think there might be a video that I might be able to show you.
Somebody get me a link and timestamp.
Well, it's not. It's no. I've got an actual somebody's anyway, I'll get you the video. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's on Matt Bell's channel. Is that so?
Oh well. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that Ozzy, because Ozzy was in a hangout, and I asked Ozzy what he thought of Gus's performance, and he basically said it was terrible. It was like, but in Ozzy's, you know, the way Ozzy does. And then he went through Gus with why it was terrible, but Gus wasn't having any of it. It was a brilliant conversation, but it was in a private hangout, unfortunately, so no one can watch it. But
I thought it was. Oh, you must have made it private.
No. What I'm saying is, after the argument, Ozzy and Gus had a conversation in a private hangout, and I was in that hangout listening. It was interesting.
I'll read a few comments out before we go.
There've been some corkers.
Yeah,
seriously, White Box Wayne right now.
Hillbilly Jim Pone said, "You know you're doing something right when they start threatening with lol suits." Panda Man said, "The Monkey Gang, social entropy at work right here." He got 3 thumbs up for that.
3 thumbs up his arse.
Yeah. Pillbox said, "Shake my head and to think I was an atheist."
Come on, Pillbox.
He was never
a
real
you loved it.
He was a chocolate atheist.
Yeah. I think someone called Jesuita Pontificem said the Pope is disappointed in this hangout and will probably send the Jesuit down vote order.
I'll tell you who that is. That will be Epicurus.
Yeah, he's a follower of the Church of Gale, you know.
Yeah, the Church of Gale.
Yeah. So, trying to
so you
stop
don't know what you're missing, Wayne.
Trying to stop those Jesuits.
Christopher H. says he's a fan of Annabelle.
Sorry, what's that, Annabelle?
You don't know what you're missing on DP sometimes.
Oh, right.
Some of this stuff that they put out is brilliant. I mean, Wolf will back me up because Wolf's a fan of
the black Jesuit Bubba, making celebrities, lick his asshole. It happens.
This woman genuinely thinks. This woman genuinely thinks, and I'm promising you it's absolutely true, that burritos and tacos are sentient beings.
I mean, it sounds fair enough.
No, but this is how crazy some of and that's that's why I watch it, because
didn't she say that hold on, didn't she say that tacos and burritos that were sentient and went to the sun in order to get cooked or something or whatever?
But this is why I watch DP, because we think we meet nutters on here, okay, which we do obviously. Some of them are commenting in the comment section, but honestly, when you look at what DP comes
sue us.
Yeah, in their imaginary court. The only thing he could try and sue you on is Judge Rinder.
Oh, there is something I want to mention.
Speaking of which, G-Man's court bullshit and ended apparently with the video still down. So I guess there's that.
I don't know if anybody picked up on this. Anybody watch Talking Shit Tuesday last night?
I tried to struggle through it, but it's pretty dull.
Right, well,
dull is all shit.
Well, just
as usual.
Listen to this bit. See if you can remember this. I was a bit bemused by it. Shannon Rocky got mentioned, and Jim Gardner saying that yeah, she's awesome. And then Alex Barton says, "Nah, full of shit. She believes in woo." And And then Jim were like, no, she's awesome. And Alex were like, no, she believes in bullshit. And then Jim said, everybody has their own woo.
Wow.
And nobody challenged it.
Most of Jim's woo comes at the end of the bottle, so I wouldn't take too much notice of what he says.
Allegedly.
Yeah. I'm not going there. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that nobody challenged that point about it. Because the thing is, right? I mean, Alex, for instance. Alex is a hard skeptic, right? As am I. I don't think there's a Patreon account.
I think it was sort of sidetracked by Roy's bullshit.
I don't think there's any woo that Alex believes in. I certainly don't.
I mean, I have a soft spot for Jim Gad. I like him very much, but I don't get the whole deism thing. It just doesn't tick any boxes for me.
Well, it's more intellectually honest than theism.
Well,
I'll grant that.
I guess so, but it's still you're still believing in something there isn't and cannot be any evidence for. Kind of by definition. I know Shane would probably argue with me on that, but
to be perfectly honest, I think there's as much evidence for deism as there is for Big Bang cosmology, because I don't think that's
really.
Well, what out of that can actually be proved other than?
Well, I mean, the Big Bang cosmology is at least based on the fundamental laws of physics. Deism isn't. Deism's basically.
I must admit, I do flick backwards and forward between hard skepticism and a tiny bit of deism. I've got to admit that, simply because I find the explanations offered, at least offered at layman level to explain things, really inadequate.
Yes, but you're falling into the Andy Jack trap, aren't you? Of
well,
saying
no,
just because we can't explain something, therefore.
No.
Deism.
It's not that we can't explain it. It's just that they're not explaining it well.
Okay, but a lack of any explanation is still not doesn't justify belief in something you can't justify. Just because it might well be that the deistic point of view is true, but as we can't show it by definition, we can't justify belief in it.
I'll grant you everything you say.
Never mind.
Yeah, someone's mentioned to me in a message, Alex went after Jim's sidekick, but no one went after Alex's.
I'm just trying to think who that
Anyway, I think we're now at 2.5 hours, so I think we should call proceedings to a halt before we get boring.
Aww.
I think that boat sailed.
Yeah.
So thank you.
2 hours.
That was 3 hours ago before we started.
Yeah.
Oh, the love Eve's here.
Well, just did you want to say anything, Eve, before we go off air?
About the Catholic Church.
I've got a feeling that's going to happen.
No, if y'all are going off air, I won't go into all that. But I did want to mention that, I kind of find it funny that Alex brought up Shanna and her so-called woo, but he definitely has his own little sidekick with Fiona. But, of course, don't question her position. Anyways, that's basically all I had to say.
We'll stay on for another couple of hours if you want to go for that.
We'd love to hear your opinions on it, Eve.
I'm just saying, I mean, if you're going to question somebody like Shanna, then why give anybody a free pass? Why are you giving Fiona a free pass? I've never seen Alex really question Fiona's position.
Well, I think to be fair to Fiona, but she's not the only Catholic. I mean, there's plenty of other. I think Jade's a Catholic, isn't she? Or used to be? Yeah,
No, but the reason I'm bringing her up is because she's right there with Alex most of the time.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about them, if you think about Alex, you tend to think about Fiona. If you think about Fiona, you tend to think about Alex.
According to Jim,
and it's kind of the same way.
They're a team, little team, aren't they? Little team.
Yeah, and it's obvious that Jim upholds Shanna to high regard. So when I heard that. Yeah, well, when I heard that, well, I don't think it's just her looks. I think he just respects her as a person. But when I heard that, I was just thinking, well, what about Fiona? Alex, how come you never challenge her?
He wouldn't dare.
I mean, I kind of agree what you're saying. I agree a lot with what you're saying in the fact that there's much more woo involved in Catholicism than there is in deism. So it is slightly hypocritical to support one or to degrade one and not another
Hang
one.
on, Jim. The woo that Alex was referring to wasn't the deism.
Right.
It was like some homeopathic something that was being referenced.
Oh well, okay. Well, that's provably bullshit. Whereas
Right, but still,
it's probably bullshit.
But still, what Jim's saying, it still holds true. Like, why would you, if you're going to condemn one person's woo, why don't you condemn another person's woo?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
No. The point that Alex was making, right? And I've got no against Shanna. The point that Alex was making was that somebody who is being held as this ultra reasonable, clever person has got this woo thing in the background. That were Alex's point.
Well,
what, in relation to Eve or sorry, Eve, in relation to Shanna or in relation to Fiona?
No, this is on about Shanna, saying that somebody who is this, like, because she's regarded as somebody who's really highly intelligent and such like, but has got this woo belief in this orthomolecular medicine. That were Alex's point. I don't think that can be compared with somebody with theism, because we all know the score with theism.
Yeah,
you see where I'm going with that?
It's a load of nonsense.
I'm not sure where you're going with that. I don't see how the belief in homeopathy, for example, is any different from belief in transubstantiation.
What's that?
It's when you pray over some wafers and then turn into the literal body of Christ and stuff. I'm not saying that Fiona actually believes that, but that is a core Catholic belief.
Don't you have to if you're a Catholic?
Well, I think it's part of the doctrine, but there are probably about 1 billion types of Catholicism too.
Probably, yeah. Well, on that note,
but the point was that the thing that was said was everybody has their own woo. It was that went unchallenged. I was waiting.
Actually, I was going to comment on that, but the way it was phrased, it sounded like he was going to elaborate on it, and then it was just kind of passed over, and the subject will kind of change. I think it went back to more of a personal preference conversation, and the woo really wasn't that well discussed. And to me, I was like, well, isn't what was referenced homeopathy in a sense? And so that's, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what